I'll call this Bang Bang.
Seriously?
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up.
I will beat your ass.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up.
Pull up, bitch. Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up.
Objection. Objection.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. KO. Bang bang.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up.
You're a bitch, bro. Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up.
Right?
Yeah.
The bang bang, the bang bang.
Pull up.
The bang bang, the bang bang.
Pull up.
Bang bang.
Right?
Yeah.
The bang bang, the bang bang.
Pull up.
The bang bang, the bang bang.
Bang, bang. Bang, bang. Bang, bang.
All right, Mr. Lally, your next witness, please.
Yes, Your Honor, the Commonwealth calls Trooper Michael Proctor to the stand. State your name and spell your last name for the jury.
Michael Proctor, Proctor.
You're a bitch, bro.
Bang bang.
I will fuck you up.
I will beat your ass. I will fuck you up.
I'm going to allow it.
Bang bang.
I will fuck you up.
I will beat your ass. I will fuck you up.
I'm going to allow it.
Bang bang.
Welcome to the Weekend Live Show.
508 is where I'm from.
We run down the biggest stories of the week with you every Saturday night. Let us know in the comments right now where you reppin'.
Apache Junction, Taunton, Worcester, Long Island, Manchard, South Florida, Webster, Malden, Framingham, Tucson, Billerica, Salem, Gloucester, Moosop, Connecticut, Charleston, South Carolina, Roslindale, Moosop, Connecticut, London, Hanson, Glendale, Arizona, Lynn, Mapleville, Quincy.
Food stamps, leave your clothes, buddy, and date them with
You a funny ass guy, man.
Have you
ever heard of Turtleboy? Yeah? Are you a fan?
508 is where I'm from.
Hey, what's up?
508 is where I'm from.
How was that?
You a freaking idiot. Stop telling people that I'm mentally deranged and stupid.
Call me Aidan. I'm not a doctor, but...
Get out of my store, please.
You're a fucking loser.
You are a loser.
You're not a journalist. You're nobody. You're not turtle hair. Don't make such fun of the criminal justice system.
NFL on the house, blog that.
Let's get this party started.
And I will not be intimidated. I will not be silenced. And we will continue on our journey for justice for John O'Keefe and for Karen Reed.
Tick, tick, boom. Boys, go baby, we bringing out toys. Boys, chopper be singing, should be on the voice. Bang, bang, we gon' ride out. Gang, gang, we don't die out. Want it like this, ain't no timeouts. Tell me who really gon' find out.
We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets.
Karen Reed has supporters who've shown up in large numbers.
Tick, tick, boom.
Hard body, and not scaring nobody. You make me resort to wildin'. You must be blind by the diamonds. I didn't want it to be this way, but y'all won't need to try this. So it's no way around it. You the loudest one, it's going quiet. We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets. About to go ahead, going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep.
This is the first time I think I've ever seen this. An outpouring of support for someone accused of murdering a Boston police officer. Unbelievable situation. Never seen anything like it.
Tick, tick, boom. You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me?
We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets. About to go ahead, going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep. It's go, 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 go time.
Tick, tick, boom.
Boom. What's up, people? What's going on out there, Turtle Riders? Let's fix that. Welcome to the live show, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Aidan Kearney. I'm your fearless host here. I go by various aliases that you can call me, all of which are acceptable and allowed. You can call me Clarence Woods Emerson. That's my Facebook name. Follow me on there. Oh, I have like Helen Keller can't read. I gotta fix that. Okay, there it is. All right. You can call me Clarence Woods Emerson. That's my Facebook account. Follow me on there. I do a bus stop live stream every morning in case I get jacked up by the popo. You can call me Uncle Turtleboy. Old school turtle riders are known to do that. You can call me, A. Timothy Kearney. That's my pen name, if you will. That's my true crime name when I'm solving mysteries in the woods in my leather jacket, deep in thought. I get a lot of thinking done out there. You can call me that. You can call me doctor. I actually prefer it. It's my preferred pronoun because if Jill Biden's a doctor, then so am I. That one really upsets Plevin, by the way, when you call me a doctor. He did not like when Brother Counsel did that. And yes, these shirts are in the shop. I finally just got mine. I got a couple of colors of this one. It's one of my favorite ones. I love the Karen Reed mugshot. It's just such defiance. It's great. This is the first mugshot. This is not even the second one. This is the manslaughter mugshot. This isn't even the murder mugshot. So I like this one a lot. It's pretty badass. But yeah, you can call me daddy too. That's also acceptable. Definitely not required because I understand that could be a little bit, weird calling a grown man daddy. But I'm here for it. If you're down for it, I'm down for it too. I don't care what you call me. Just be here every Tuesday and Saturday night at 9 p.m. sharp. And make sure you smash that subscribe button. How many subscribers are we up to now? Let's see. We are up to 102,250. So we're getting closer to 103,000, which is like getting close to 1 million when you think about it. Every one closer is a little bit closer to 1 million. So make sure you give us a big smash of the subscribe, thumbs up, all that fun stuff. It's all going to be good in the hood. But anyway, besides that, you guys can also have your messages read out loud to the class. If you click on the link to the top, it should be pinned to the top. We got about 30, almost 2,800 people in here. That's good. I'm sure that number will grow. But you can click at the link at the top. That brings you to something called Turtle Chat. We don't have super chats here, which is great because those crooks take 40% anyway. So it actually works out really well. And also shout out to all the Rumble Rats, 5080 you watching over there. I see you. I love you. You're awesome. We use Rumble a lot when we get kicked off of YouTube, which is frequently. So, go follow our Rumble channel. We got about 12,700 subscribers over there. But anyway, what was I going to say? Oh yeah. So if you click on the link at the top, we built our own platform because we got demonetized by YouTube. And it's called Turtle Chat. We keep it all. It's great. So if you click at that link, you can give whatever amount of money you want, and you get to have your message read out loud when you do that. So you're not really donating. It's not like a welfare thing. It's like a capitalism thing. You're paying me for a service. You put money in the machine, and I say whatever you want me to say. Now, it doesn't mean I necessarily endorse the things that you're saying in the message, but I'm a whore. Like you put money. I'll do what you want. I'll do what you want, Daddy. You put money in the machine, I will say what you want. So without further ado, let me see if we have any turtle chats thus far. We have Lothario. Holy shit. Oh, this is Lothario. It's Nan Gallagher, who's a big hit. I got to get Nan on the show. She'd be great. She gives, starting us off right, she's given $500. Woo! Thank you so much, Lothario. She's a very generous donor. She's an attorney who got into this trend of lawyers giving their hourly wage, like donating their 1 hour of their hourly wage to the Karen Reed Defense Fund. And she's been generous enough to give it to me as well. So I really appreciate that. And so, and check her out on the Young Jerks. She's a very intelligent woman, an attorney from New Jersey, and go check her out. She's excellent. So she says the following, her dono, it says, keep showing up. That's all she says, from Nian Gallagher Esquires. Thank you, Nian Gallagher Esquire, La Ferio. She is awesome. So I appreciate that. And we will keep showing up. We had a nice crowd there yesterday in the cold, boots on the ground, out there going strong. Love to see it. The unity, they say a lot about all this movement's divided. Not, I don't see that in person. Maybe it happens on Twitter, but it doesn't happen like in the real world, like in the real world where it counts at Karen Reed's hearings. We are not divided at all, baby. We are all going ahead full cylinder, and we just haven't, like, doesn't matter how cold it is. I know the faces I'm going to see out there. There's always new faces too, but there's the regular faces that are out there every single time, and I never get sick of seeing them. They're fantastic. They're all there throughout the whole trial, and it warms my heart. And just to think we're going to be doing this again in 2 months, like, it's going to happen. Some people are optimistic and say, well, maybe the motion dismiss will work this time, because guess what? Auntie Bev she's not good at all. I will never compliment Auntie Bev, but she's fucking Spanky. Like, he is just not, it's not working out for you, Spanky. And you and Auntie Bev is just not delivering what you thought was going to happen. I got a close up with Spanky for the first time yesterday. I sat within 3 feet of him for the entire hearing, and he just does not project the confidence that he projected at prior hearings. Like, he didn't have the swag yesterday. He's a $75,000 pussy. That's what he is. And he sits there with his notes. He has all his notes out, and he's doing highlighting stuff when Alessi's talking, really paying attention. He's got his phone out, reading some messages, doing his thing. And then there's like Laura McLaughlin to the far left has her computer out. She's on a computer typing, doing things. And then there's Lally. Lally sits in between them, right, with his hands like this, right on his lap. And he just stares straight ahead. Does not move, does not blink. He's got a blank notebook in front of him with a pen on it that he hardly ever uses. And he just sits there and he stares straight ahead. And that's his job. He just does nothing. He's got manila folders in front of him, doesn't open them, nothing, doesn't give notes to Brennan about like tips. Like, they're not working together at all. He just sits there like a loser. The highlight of his day is when he decides how much hair gel he's going to put in that day. And it's what a loser. That's all I got to say about that guy. But, it's not working out well for Hank Brennan so far. We're obviously going to talk about that tonight. We're going to call him Hank Mayo, because this guy cannot win. They bring him in here and all he does is lose. Hank Mayo. And Hank Mayo thought that he was going to come in here and change everything, and he's going to be way better than Lal. It's the same shit. It's the same shit, different packaging, less effective, and it's honestly making Karen Reed's defense stronger. It is. It's going to make him so much stronger. And, after the first trial, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't disappointed that anyone could think that it's okay to vote guilty for manslaughter for Karen Reed. We all know that they acquitted on murder. We all know that, and the other one. But they didn't acquit on manslaughter. They were torn. It was 6-6. Some bullying went on because the stronger personalities in the room were the 6 on the side of guilty, and a couple of the people who were easily, kind of pushed around, they temporarily changed their vote to guilty. One of them came back, the guy I interviewed. So the final tally was 8-4, right? But that's still disappointing that you get 8 people that are willing to vote that. What? That's insane. That's absolute madness. So, and those people suck. Like, let's be real here. Like, when the new jury comes in and acquits her in 5 seconds, I think that's going to be when it's like fair game to shame them. You know what I mean? Like, you guys suck. Like, a real jury came in here and did the goddamn job. You guys deserve to get called out for your bullshit. You pieces of shit. That's what they are. I'm sick. They're not stupid. They're pieces of shit. All of them that voted guilty on manslaughter are pieces of shit. But I digress. I don't really care about them. They're in the past right now. They're in the past. Anyway, get a little fired up about that. They'll fired up. So what was I saying? All right. So anyway, I think this time around, it is going to be a very, very quick acquittal. I just think they're going to get overwhelmed. And I am more confident than ever that that this new administration, the Trump administration, because this is a new U.S. attorney. Josh Levy's gone. I think they're going to be begging for Josh Levy within a couple months, begging for him to come back. Oh, I'm so sorry about all the stuff we said about you, Mr. Levy. Oh, can you come back? They're all being so mean to me. So mean to me. And speaking of Josh Levy, actually, there's another Josh Levy. There's a, and this can be a little bit confusing because his name is Josh Levy. Let me see if I can find it. All right. Let's see if I can forward this. All right, so check this out. Laura Sullivan from the Sullivan Sluts, the older one, she has a boyfriend by the name of Josh Levy for some reason, and he's this big fat guy, loser. And he went on his Instagram yesterday and made a post, and we got to check this out. Let me see if I can pull this up. All right. All right, here's what he says. 3 years, and she continues to live her life. Oh, God forbid you live your life. Oh, no, not living. God forbid she lives. God forbid. And she goes, this is a rich girl getting away with murder. Who, Jennifer McCabe? She's not that rich. Because I know Karen Reed's not rich, obviously. Karen Reed hasn't been able to work in 3 years. A rich girl, stop it. The police can do a poor job, and she killed him. So, like, that's their default now. It's like, yes, the police are completely incompetent and fucked this up, but that doesn't mean that she didn't kill him. Okay, don't you know? She's still guilty. So why is she guilty, Josh? So we go on to so this is, remember, this is Laura Sullivan from the Sullivan Sluts. Her, I think baby daddy, hard to keep up with these people, but says this. Where'd it go? So he goes, it does not have to be either or. Never denied. I think he meant to say she never denied going 24 miles an hour reverse, which is a totally ridiculous speed in reverse. I completely agree with that because she never went 24 miles an hour reverse. I don't care what the tech stream data says. Clearly, like, explain the tech stream data to me. Like, what could cause, and that's maybe the defense needs to do that. You know, what could cause it to say 24 miles an hour reverse? Because you can't do it. You cannot do it. Try doing it. I dare any of these people that try going 24 miles an hour reverse. Just give it a shot. Give it a shot. So she's never denied it because she didn't take the stand. Okay. And she pled not guilty, which means she does deny it. But goes on to say, there's only one reason to call daddy multiple times after midnight. She messed up badly. Except that literally never happened. She never called her daddy multiple times after midnight. She called her mommy at 1:15 in the morning, and mommy didn't pick up. And there actually is a reason to call them because you're close to them and you're looking for advice, which is what she's like, should I leave these fucking kids and go back to Mansfield? Like the girl's home alone. I feel bad. Am I a dick if I go back? And she didn't pick up. A lot of people, believe it or not, talk to their parents and like have good relationships with them and get advice. Like I know it's crazy for some people to understand. Then he goes on to say, she goes, why would she ever leave the kids in the middle of a snowstorm if she had nothing to do with it? Leave the kids in the middle of a snowstorm if she had nothing to do with it? She didn't leave the kids. She stayed. She was trying to get him to come home. Like she was all a ploy to get him to come back. And why? Because they're not her kids. Because they're not her fucking kids, Josh. You fat fuck. When's the last time? Did you ever babysit the kids? No, you didn't, you fat fuck. Because none of you pieces of shit ever stepped up and did anything for those two kids. That includes Paul. None of them. The only person who did was John and Karen, who you guys made fun of and called the babysitter. Because she did the job that you fat fucks wouldn't do. You complete waste of space pieces of shit. All of you. You should see this fat fuck, Josh Levy. Fat Josh Levy. That when I don't want to disgrace the name Josh Levy. Fat Josh Levy. Post this shit. And this guy was at my arraignment sitting there being fat. That's all he was doing. I looked out in the crowd and I'm like, who's the fat guy? He's a big fatso sitting there with his little freaking, like he's like some douchebag from Webster with the chin strap going on, looking like an asshole, sitting next to some blonde who I thought was his slam pig Laura Sullivan, but as it turns out, it's some other slam pig sitting there enjoying me being in handcuffs, looking at me and me not giving a fuck about any of this. That meant nothing to me. That arrest was great. That was a fun day. I didn't even give a shit at all. I got the whole body cam footage of me getting driven down there in the back of the car and shooting the shit with the trooper driving me, having a good time, getting up there, yelling shit about Fort Edges coming out, standing on those court steps stairs in defiance like a fucking alpha male badass motherfucker. Okay. That meant nothing to me. That meant absolutely nothing to me. And then I'd never seen this loser Ken Mello before. And he gets up there and he starts ranting and reading my greatest hits. I'm like, oh, what is this? Like, am I being honored here or something? Why are you reading my greatest hits? Why are you telling me about, like, you're reading off things I said on my show? Yeah, I said all that shit. That was awesome. That was fucking awesome. Those were great episodes. Love those episodes. Love the episode where I called up Colin Albert. Love the episode where I called up Michael Proctor and left that voicemail. Loved it. It was great. Oh, Josh Heavy. That's what we're going to call him. Josh Heavy. Okay, Josh Heavy. So anyway, back to Josh Heavy over here. He says, just shows, why would she ever leave the kids in the middle of a snowstorm if she had nothing to do with it? She didn't, but just shows you the power of social media and how it can change people's perspectives. The word is perspectives, you fat fuck. Prospectives? Oh my God, they're all so stupid. At this point, it's almost impossible to have an impartial jury with everything her defense has put out there. Oh, you mean like the truth? Good. I'm glad. First of all, it's not impossible because you found some stupid people in the last jury. Okay. You did. It is going to be harder this time around. I agree. It's not her that put this shit out there. It's the Commonwealth that brought this sham to fucking trial. And you're too fucking stupid to see that. I sat in court yesterday and I looked across and I saw 10 of the dumbest motherfuckers I've ever seen in my life. It was painful to look back at them. Just hollow brains. Just nothing in there at all. Paul O'Keefe, Peggy O'Keefe, the fucking retarded Rizzitano cousins. Who else is over there? Kerry Roberts, the lapdog, pathetic loser piece of shit whose husband, Kurt, hates her. Okay. Which is why he got arrested. And Kurt's sister also doesn't like her and donated to the Carrie Defense Fund, like $250. Yeah. I had to stare at these fucking losers for a couple hours. I should have got back pay for that. Okay. Who else was in there? In court with them? I can't even remember. There were too many losers. And they're looking back at me and I'm looking back and I didn't like Jackie and Carl weren't there. I would have lost brain cells looking at them. They're too stupid. Jill Harrison Thomas, the Sullivan sluts, none of them were there. You know, every time I lose brain cells looking at these people. I hate them. And then the Robert the Bruce's dad was there too. The guy dying of leprosy. He's like the whole time slouched over. They throw that poor guy in a blue sweatshirt and make him come to all these court dates because they can't find anyone else. There was no one outside in a blue shirt. No one protesting. No one there to support this. None of them give a shit. None of them can be bothered to show up. And none of them have jobs. So what's their excuse? Where are they? Why can't they? Oh, Tara Kerrigan. Oh, she was staring at me. That bitch is so mad. I've never seen people with just more like her lady bits. I don't want to get too graphic here. Like I said, they're drier than Jill Daniels' face. Okay. It's just down there. It's just, she keeps it fresh for John. Like that's what she's doing. Keeping it fresh for John. Like only John can come back in there. It's been 20 years, lady. Maybe you should give it up. Okay. Maybe John doesn't want you. Yeah. John died. Okay. But he wasn't your boyfriend when he died. He was your boyfriend 20 something years ago. Get over it. He's lost at sea. You're at Boston Magazine. Hold on for that goddamn picture. If he comes home from sea, he doesn't want to see you. I'll tell you that much. He dumped your ass. Anyway, goes on to say, I need to have a judge only. So that like she should just lose her right to a jury. He's saying needs to have judge only because Josh Heavy said so. All John's true family and friends hope she gets what she deserves so Johnny can rest. Spelt wrong. Okay. Her true family and friends. Well, many of John's friends are actually on Karen Reed's side, and we've shown pictures of them hanging out. John Silvero was friends with John O'Keefe. Okay. Bill and Ingrid, these people that they were friends with John O'Keefe. They all vacationed together, hung out together. They were all friends, right? And they're all there. I don't see any pictures with you, Josh Heavy. I don't see you in any of these pictures. I certainly don't see you around the kids because you want nothing to do with that. You were willing to sacrifice nothing because you're a fat loser. Anyway, that's my take on him. Okay, on to the next dono here. Next up, we have Mary Pat gives $5 and says, "Thank you, doctor." Well, thank you very much. No, she gives $105. She gave 100, and then she gave 5 and says, well, thank you very much, Mary Pat. Holy shit. You guys are generous tonight. Wow. Hashtag Hank gives $100 and says, "Can you please send ice because my ass is still burning? The closet baby promised to deliver it fast." Yeah, I don't know about the closet baby. But Hank's got to be in pain after that whooping that he got. We're going to talk all about that tonight. So thank you very much. Hashtag Hank. Chris sends $5, goes, "I wonder if the defense has had a chat with Barrows since the first trial. P.S. Has anyone ever told you look like a thumb?" I look like a thumb? No, Brian Tully looks like a thumb. I do not look like a thumb. But yeah, Nicholas Barrows, certainly, I would hope the defense is going to get in touch with that. Because like I said, that guy is begging. That guy's begging to, do this over again. And I might over February vacation do this, a 24-hour stream where we just review the entire trial. Should I do it like a big fundraiser, right? Where I just go strong. I mean, how am I going to do that? That's going to be crazy. Fuck it. Let's try it. I think we should try it. 24-hour stream. I got to be allotted some breaks in there. You know what I mean? Maybe a couple 15-minute breaks. Go to the bathroom. Make a little food. A meal, food even. Something like that. That would be awesome. Where we just start to finish, because the trial's coming up. We got to get back in trial shape here. It's been a while. We need to revisit a lot of this stuff. Just beginning to end. Day 1 through 29, I think it was 29 different days of this trial. I think we need to do that. Yeah, Will did 12. If he can do 12, I can do 24. Let's go. Let's do it. All right. Next up, Omar Tentmaker sends $10 and goes, the circus isn't about a fair trial for Karen. They know they don't have the evidence for a conviction. Brennan's job is to put out as much bullshit to increase public doubt of a DA police cover-up of a McAlbert murder. After another mistrial or not guilty verdict in trial 2, the actual bad actors want no repercussions when the persecution of KR ends. No doubt about it. No, and they are going to get, I mean, it'll be one of those two, more likely an acquittal, but there's no chance in hell this woman is ever convicted of anything. So thank you very much. Romy sends $50 and goes, some guy actually accidentally touched my knee at the hockey game this afternoon. I guess we are married now. Not sure how I'm going to explain this to my husband. I can't with these twitiots. Yeah, there's a picture going around on Twitter that Grant shared. And so Grant, by the way, appears to have stolen someone else's picture. Somebody claims to have taken a picture of Karen Reed at some sort of bar, I think at Smith and Walensky's, with Alan Jackson. And they appear to be looking at a phone or something together, and they're kind of facing each other at the bar like human beings do when they converse. Like how Jen McCabe, she turns to people in the car and has to talk to them so she doesn't see a dead body. Yeah, that kind of stuff. So they want us to, like, they share this picture and like they're sitting next to each other and it's saying that his elbow is on her knee or something like that. I don't know. And they call it intimate. They're like, look at them being intimate. I think Big Red called it that, or Missy Lurch or something about that. And Grant, they all called it intimate. And you know what? That makes a lot of sense, actually, that they would call that intimate, because the fact that it makes so much sense. It all adds up. The fact that they consider something like that to be intimate, everything makes sense. Like, it is, like I said, just dry snatch, like the driest you've ever seen in your life. If they look at they look at those pictures of them sitting next to each other at the bar, and they're like, I haven't gotten that much action in 25 years. Like, it's been Tara Kerrigan sitting there just waiting for John to come back from sea. Like that kind of aridness, just like the Sahara Desert up in this bitch down there. That's what that was. So I saw those pictures. And then there's Grant. Like, Grant is a literal virgin. Like, there is absolutely, I cannot envision a situation ever in which Grant Smith Ellis had consensual sexual relations with a woman. I can't. Could you guys ever picture that? Like, I can picture a lot of ugly people like that have no reason to have anyone hook up with them. I'm like, oh, I guess I could see them getting laid. Somebody feeling bad for them, whatever. Like, Grant, I couldn't ever picture doing it. Like, he wouldn't shut up. He would just keep talking the whole time. And she'd be like, are you going to fuck me or not? Why are you telling me about your conspiracy theories about feds and Turtleboy? What? When do you fuck me, Grant? Grande, give it to me. You know, there's no way. And that kind of confirmed it. So thank you for the dono, Romy. Next up, Uncle Kev Mulstay gives $10, goes, Hank Brennan paid for his award. The National Trial Lawyers of America is a pay-to-play in the industry. What a loser. Did he really pay for an award? What a loser. I'm an award-winning journalist. I didn't have to pay for shit. I won a vote 3 times, mind you. 3 times. I won best blogger, best blog of Worcester County, and best local media outlet, best local news outlet, actually. I won that. And then I won another award in 2018 from the Patriot Valley newspaper up in Lawrence. So thank you very much for that. Hank's Lost Dignity sends $10, goes, slipping on the ice or just wet, where your tire can easily rotate at much higher speeds with no traction and no resistance can easily cause it to report. That's what I thought. I've tested this with my vehicle attached to the device, which can be bought on Amazon, and read the data in the telematics log. Interesting. Defense needs to have someone do tests on this. It's not hard. That's very interesting. Hank's Lost Dignity. And I hope they're listening. So thank you very much. Mark sends $25, goes, keep up the good work. I miss the good old ratchet stories, though. Mark, you know what, Mark? I was listening to Gianetti right before this, speaking of, and I couldn't stop laughing. Like, I missed the ratchets too. Like, I was listening to my Gianetti court thing when Gianetti took me to court. And again, this is my attorney who represented me. And he's like, the question was really asked of my client in a hearing. I defended, did you or did you not say you were going to take my baby out of revenge and make him a transgender baby? And I was actually listening to this court audio.
The court audio is off. Whoever is in charge of that.
Welcome to Zoom for women.
One day he'll get capped in the back of his.
Mr. Gianetti, there's no question.
I don't know how you have.
You have to answer the question.
He said it's been going for 15 years, and he's it's like, yeah, I did it yesterday or something. TCF was called.
Mr. Gianetti.
Mr. Gianetti, hang on. All right. Go ahead, Mr. Randazzo.
So this is a restraining order hearing. Mike Gianetti applied for a restraining order against me because he said I was going to take his baby out of revenge and make him a transgender baby. So he wanted a restraining order on me. That is not what I said. I said I was going to adopt his kid when he goes to jail and let the baby choose his gender. That's what I said because I was being progressive.
Did you have Mr. Kearney served with the HTO entered on August 9th?
I don't know what the court did.
Yes, guys, this isn't how this works. Mr. Gianetti, this is just you, sir. Please have your girlfriend just remain quiet while we go through this proceeding.
The reason why my girlfriend is because she is the.
That's fine, Mr. Gianetti, but we're talking to you right now. We're talking to you right now, and she hasn't been sworn, so you have to answer the question, sir.
The question was that I made a lot of rap songs.
No, that's not the question. The question, Mr. Randazzo, would you please state your question again, sir?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Gianetti.
Yes.
Did you, one of your videos, state the following? One day he'll get capped in the back of his head on the way to his house.
I said, I don't
I'm
know.
not making.
I said, I do not know how you haven't got capped in the back of your head. This guy's going lives up and down Worcester. He tramples over everybody that tries to go against him. He's a tyrant. He's calling the other judge a tyrant. This woman worked her whole life to be a judge and on a bench, and he's calling her a tyrant just because he didn't get his way in court. He's sending people down there to assault me.
Mr. Gianetti, there's no question. There's no question. Hold on.
Your Honor,
Mr. Randazzo, hold on.
Your Honor, I have provided the clerk with these 3 videos from which I'm quoting. I would like to move those into evidence.
All right.
They are violent and derogatory of me saying those things, that I never did it. For a whole year I said it. It never happened. So, I mean, what he said happened within 3 days. His little terrorizer. You get death threats every day.
Mr. Gianetti, there's no question, sir. I just need you to hang on for a question.
What I'm saying is,
Mr. Gianetti, there's no question. If you just hang still, let Mr. Randazzo ask the questions. We can get through this. Mr. Randazzo, you may continue, sir.
Because he's Gianetti.
Did you have Mr. Kearney served in Holden with the order issued by Judge Ham?
How would I have him served? I don't understand what that means. I came in and the judge gave.
Gianetti got a temporary order on me because he went in there and said I was going to kidnap his transgender baby. And then he gave the wrong address to the court. And so they didn't serve me or tell me there was going to be a 2-party hearing. And so the full year order was granted because that Gianetti didn't give the right address out because he's a crackhead, a literal crackhead. And then I found out the order existed. We had to get it. Like, this is a hearing to get the order thrown out. And it doesn't go well for him.
I didn't go to his house and.
Sir, you answered the question. Fine. Mr. Randazzo, anything further?
I never even been to Holden.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Randazzo?
Mr. Gianetti, did you provide the court with his address in Holden?
Yeah, from what I looked up for truth file when I was looking at this other sex offender stuff as a teacher, I seen maybe Holden Street, but I never really visualized the address because I don't know him. We're down there. But I think 15.
Mr. Gianetti, did you contact Mr. Kearney with the intent of being on his show to discuss your altercation with the Boston police?
You guys, I have over here, Your Honor, this whole week being begged to ask to go on this show. And I say, you're violating the order, don't talk to me. I can show you.
Oh my God.
The answer to the question is that.
Mr. Randazzo, would you please repeat the question again?
Actually, I'll ask a different question that might have a yes or no answer. If the clerk, I have provided 4 documentary exhibits. Could we show exhibit 2?
This is Gianetti.
Music, bro. You can't say that. What's up?
Hold on.
Say they're gonna dig up my aunt. When we had that show, he began to put my kids on on the YouTube, and every time he didn't like an answer, he would do it, and Brett would do it, and they laughed. And then they say they're gonna dig up my aunt that got killed by Whitey Bulger and fuck her because she is a snitch.
What?
Said it repeatedly.
That never happened.
Now, this guy's a journalist, but
This is a real courtroom.
And crotch fruit child. I mean, what journalist? He says in his article, he has a badge for being, he's a journalist. It's a badge. You have a badge right now, I'll drop it.
Mr. Randazzo, do you have any further questions of Mr. Gianetti?
Yes. Mr. Gianetti, did you ever provide the court with Mr. Kearney's Holden address?
No.
Yes or no?
No.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Anything further, Mr. Randazzo?
I don't care where he lives. I just want him to leave me alone.
Hold on.
And edited.
Hold on. Here it is. Here it is.
Do you have any questions
Here it is.
of
Here it
Mr.
is.
Kearney?
He cross-examines me here.
I do. I'd like to call Mr. Kearney.
I will give you the opportunity to ask Mr. Kearney a few questions, but we're not going to go rambling for years. So, Mr. Gianetti.
I'll ask a couple questions. Did you not say, and then edit it, that you were going to take my baby out of revenge and make him a transgender baby?
Mr. Kearney?
No, I made a joke about fostering his child after his child was in DCF here to give him a better life.
Yeah, I have no recording right now. That's perjury.
Any further questions?
Let's see. Did you,
yes.
did you ask your turtle riders justice for Lisa? And
he killed
ask
Lisa.
them also to contact DCF office and have the police come to my house knowing I wasn't there, and then you lied on air and said that
What?
you had my son taken away for 3 weeks.
Okay.
Did you not say that?
I don't understand the question.
The question is, you heard the question. Come on, you're smart, right? You're a journalist, right? You went to school for a teacher.
Mr. Gianetti, make the questions a little shorter. They're a little bit
All right,
rambling.
how about this? Being the fact, I asked you a question, that you've had this little problem with your student. Do you think that I should not be worried about somebody going on there and making a joke about kidnapping my child? What would you do? That's a question.
I don't understand
That's
the
a question
question.
meaning, what, the question saying, don't you think that I should behave like this?
Mr. Gianetti, that's not a question, sir. That's a statement. Do you have a
The
question?
statement is, he's been known to touch my
That's not a question. You can ask him a question, not make statements.
All right, question. Why do you have to, when you put people on your shows, do you have to put their child on right beside them? Every one of them. I counted 7 or 8.
All right. Mr. Gianetti, you have to
Why
ask
the children
him,
there?
you have to ask him a question that's relevant to this hearing.
Why does he put the children on YouTube? My son and other friends of people that I have. Why did it?
He put his own kid on.
And then DCF get called a joke. And this and that. And he violated the order Saturday. Why isn't he in jail?
All right. Do you have any further questions, Mr. Gianetti?
I could sit here for a while, but I'm not finished all the quarter.
Okay. Very good. Thank you, sir.
Everybody knows how this is.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Randazza, I'll hear you, sir, with respect to the extension.
Yeah, so that was good. Real quick, I know I'll get off of Gianetti. This a lot of people like don't understand who this guy is. He is a crackhead who I've written about many times, who was at my arraignment when I was indicted on December 22nd because the fake victim ended up contacting him and befriending him and got him because she knew that I'd written about him in the past. So I'd never seen him before in real life. She got him to come to my arraignment and just yell shit. He's the crazy guy who was yelling shit at me. He was there when I got out of jail, yelling more shit at me. He's fucking nuts. So I wrote about him and he lost his goddamn mind. And then he came on the show a couple times. Oh, he also live streamed. He heard I was in Boston. And so he started driving around town looking for me. And then he crashes into somebody and does a hit and run. Watch this. On a live stream.
If I'm a predator, those are my girls. That's my crew. Keller has any at the police station. That's good.
I'm out.
Tesla. What does a Tesla look like?
He thinks I drove a Tesla. He's looking for a Tesla.
Well, you know what? I'm just going to park.
Ready?
Oh, man. I'm out.
Dude, so he's looking all over for me in Boston, and he just fucking does this abrupt U-ey in the middle of the street, and he hits another fucking car on a live stream and goes, I'm out, and then drives away because he doesn't have like a license or insurance or a registration or anything like that. And then he came on my show and he mooned us. So he came on the show. This is back when, let's see, do we have, and he showed us his like DCF documents. Let's see. Is this it? Oh, that's when he was on Boston's Finest. Let's see. Was he on this one? Whatever you do, don't give me money. Don't give me money. Please don't.
His name
don't.
is fucking Aidan fucking Kearney.
He cracked the case. What's up?
Hey, Clarence.
Keeping track at home. What you have on your record.
And whatever. I had the whole script and I hid it from her because she liked pills, right? She fucking found about 8 of them and fucking we had sex.
Oh, this is when one of his girlfriends overdosed and died in his bed, which after he gave her, he was a crack dealer and he just used to prey on, crackheads. And one of them overdosed like in his bed, apparently, after he had sex with her.
And she was fucking dead in the morning. I tried to bring her back. I couldn't. They investigated it, said if there was heroin in her system, I was going to jail. They found traces, and through the cameras, they proved that I picked her up that night. Because in Georgetown, there's cameras. So when I went to the funeral, homicide was there. They couldn't touch me, and they told their mother that I had nothing to do with it. And the mother let me into the funeral to see Lisa's body.
So you gave a girl drugs.
You think you're smarter than homicide now?
No, I am. I'm smarter than you.
Just answer your question.
You were investigated for.
The black uniform, all black.
Oh yeah, so we found him. He was on Mass Accountability, who comes to a lot of the Karen Reed stuff too. He goes around kind of filming police. He's like one of these First Amendment auditor people, and he happened to come across Gianetti at a stop, and Gianetti was complaining that the cops broke his arm, and Gianetti wanted me to write a story that was favorable about him, and then I did the opposite, and that's why he's been obsessed with me.
I want his name.
That's a K-9 officer usually.
Yeah.
Just tell him. This guy.
Even this guy's like. The cop didn't find anything the first.
There's another K-9 right there.
Hello, Mike Gianetti. How are you? Watch this. He shows me his son.
Fuck.
This is when he came on my channel. Okay. What's up?
Hey, Fat Boy, I want to show you something.
Please don't be a. Don't be a. So he shows me his kid. He brings his kid on the show, and they sleep on a mattress on the floor to show me that he has custody. For some reason, he has custody, but he didn't have custody. This is his girlfriend's apartment. His girlfriend, by the way, he was banging her mom, and her mom ended up leaving him for Joe Amoroso, who was the biological father of Bella Bond, who abandoned her, and the girl that died 10 years ago. And then he ends up banging. So she leaves him for Joe Amoroso. And then he ends up banging her daughter, who is this one now. So she was 16 when he started grooming her. And I think she's like 23 now. So he's like 20 years older than her. They had a kid together. What is that? Oh, great.
A junkie hooker.
Why do you have a mask on your house? Why do you have a mask on your house?
Fucking idiot.
Listen, Boris, put her on.
Fucking show. Couldn't.
Now here's my. Hold on. You know what underage girl
why
right
are you
there.
posting pictures of my daughter?
He gets so mad. Well, who's that underage girl right there?
Why do you like putting little girls on fucking your shit? Yeah, you know how many people told me that you like doing this? You have an issue with that?
Who's this underage girl right here? For those of you unfamiliar,
get my daughter off that shit.
Nah.
Or what?
Conversation.
Whoa. Okay. Sorry.
Get her off.
Whoa. Tough guy.
Dude,
okay.
I'll fuck you up.
No, you won't. You can't afford the gas money to come see me.
You ever put my kids on and listen to it. I'm done. I don't care if feds hear me anything. PayPal fucking, you're a scammer. PayPal's wants you. The feds want you. PayPal. How many people you extorted? How many people extorted, Turtleboy?
So anyway.
What you think? I didn't have my sources ready for you? You fucking faggot?
Oh, anyway. So the girl in that picture is Caitlin. Okay.
I can't hear you, you ugly motherfucker, too. I can't hear neither of these. What kind of show do you have?
I haven't said shit, you fucking half a fag, wet brain, piece of shit, junkie cunt.
I know it was a cock in it. Sorry.
So now you can hear me, junkie? What? Oh, he can't hear you for some reason.
Why are you saying junkie? We're covering junkie. Get it right.
No. Hey, listen, I've watched your little half a fag short bus videos where you show your fucking disgusting cunt girlfriend. And you're wet brain, son. You're on methadone and Suboxone and all that shit.
No,
you're
I'm on
practicing
methadone,
junkie.
and I never lied
you're
about
a
it
junkie.
Junkie, dude. If you ain't smoking something, dude, then I'm fucking baby.
Oh no, dude, I've been smoking like a chick. I had a whole show about smoking. I don't have your daughter acting, junkie.
Get my daughter off there now.
You guys think I'm
playing with
I don't have your.
Oops.
Right.
I don't have your daughter on anything, short bus.
Turtleboy.
This ain't me.
One more fucking
nothing
time,
in my hand.
Right?
One more time?
One more time.
Okay, one more time.
Look at you just asked for it, dummy.
Well, he moons me. He moons me here.
Okay, so however this show goes.
Okay, so here's the deal with that. Anyway, I get moons. The girl in that picture.
Hey, listen. Wait. That was a threat, Aidan. So what I want you to do is surround you.
He can't hear us, but I think he's lying about that. So I just want to point out right now that this girl right here, Brett, that's his baby mama. Okay, when she was underage. That's his baby mama when she was underage. You know how he met his baby mama, Brett? He was banging his baby's mama's mama. I swear to God, let's check her out, shall we? I got a picture of her.
So here it comes.
Let's do that. Let me bring that up. I'm gonna unmix. Okay, that's
yeah. Okay.
So you how
hey fuckhead junkie.
Oh, that's inappropriate. Okay. That's not good. That's not good. That's all right. So anyway, I don't know how I went down that rabbit hole. We can revisit some of that later. That's Gianetti when he mooned me on a show. And I think that's why one of the reasons we're demonetized, because Gianetti mooned me. So that if you're wondering who Gianetti is, that's who he is. And he never goes away. He's still around. He still makes raps about me every day. And it's great. Okay. Anyway, back to this. Back to the donos here. Next up, we have Melissa sends $10, goes, Dr. Journalism, Turtle, Daddy Boy. I turned my sister onto this case last summer. When she went to follow you on Twitter, she realized you were already following her. Oh, nice. She's a conservative-ish tweeter from Texas. Small world, free Karen Reed. Well, tell her I said hello. So thank you very much, Melissa. Glenda sends $5, goes, Dr. Turtleboy, I noticed the defense didn't object while Hanky Panky delivered his gaslighting speech. Oh, I don't think it's proper to object during that. So thank you for that one. Kristen sends $5, goes, Auntie Deb was doxxed on Twitter, and who was screaming at Tom CPU. Yeah, I just don't care about any of that stuff like at all. Like, you know, it is what it is, guys. It's like I kind of lashed out a little bit the other day on Twitter about it. I just don't care. And I'm sick of seeing it. I had to pull the daddy card. Like, I had to pull the daddy card and just be like, children, fucking stop. It's fucking gay and annoying, and no one wants to hear it. Like, nobody wants to hear it. And that includes everybody on all sides of whatever. You know, it's like fucking like on the goddamn, like, I'm on Twitter. Again, it's a free country, talk about whatever you want. Disclaimer. But it's when I see people like this movement being divided on social media over meaningless bullshit. That's all this is. Meaningless bullshit. And talking, oh, this person's doxing this person, and oh, this person was talking to this one, and the Australians, oh, this Miss Shorty this, and Aussie Insider this, and Oblivious Benson this, and Video Jesus this, and this person doxed me, and I'm on this side, and blah, 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 and this person did this, and check out this fucking 2-minute screen record of a conversation that nobody gives a fuck about any of that shit. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. And someone had to say it. I had to put on the fucking daddy hat, okay? Somebody needed to tell all these motherfuckers to shut the fuck up, because nobody gives a fuck about any of this at all. At fucking all. I don't know who Oblivious Benson is, and I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't care who she offended. I don't care what side she's on. I don't care about any of this shit. None of it. So shut the fuck up about it. And it becomes my ish problem when it's on my Twitter feed. When I'm on Twitter and I go on and I'm trying to learn about the Kearney case and other shit, and I go on there and I'm reading all this bullshit. And so I replied to one of them and I said, enough. Like, I don't remember what I said. It was very diplomatic about it. Okay. I was very polite. Well, I didn't have a rant like that. I was very polite, and I went on there and I'm like, look, we're all supposed to be on the same team. Nobody cares about any of this stuff. Okay, let's just focus. Like, a woman is fighting for her life. She's a hearing tomorrow. Nobody cares about any of this. Stop. And they had a couple people say, oh, really? What about when you engage in drama? Old me would have told them to go fuck themselves and explain how mine was different. My shit was Sean on the Golf or whatever. Sean on the Golf has a huge platform, and he was spreading disinformation about Michael Proctor. Okay. That's how I got involved with Sean on the Golf. That's how the whole thing started. He lied about Michael Proctor. I needed to set the record straight about that. That's something that actually fucking matters, because Michael Proctor was not fired, and that needed to be made clear to people. There's a huge fucking difference between that and whatever the fuck Oblivious Benson and fucking Miss Shorty said this and this person. Nobody gives a fuck about any of that. Stop. But I didn't say that. I didn't do that. Okay. I just politely said that. And then they responded with like, oh yeah, what about you? And so, you know what I said to the person? I go, I don't know who you are, but I am just going to block you. Okay. And that's it. And anyone else who has a problem with that and who responded, I blocked them. Because if you're into this whole shit, if you spend your entire day doing that shit and you're not even mentioning the name Karen Reed or any of this other shit, fuck yourself. You've lost your way. You lost your way. You don't give a fuck about any of this, and I don't want to follow you anymore. So I'm just blocking you. It's not me, it's you. You couldn't shut the fuck up, so I don't want to follow you anymore. And that means I just don't want to see you, so I'm blocking you. It is the Twitter equivalent of changing the channel, okay? It's nothing personal. It's just, you're not interesting. You're boring, so I'm blocking you, okay? That's it. Anyway, and that goes for all the drama outside the court, too. I don't give a fuck about any of that shit. I don't care. I like all those people. I like Tom. I like Dennis. Okay? I like them all because they all come to the Karen Reed stuff. And that's it. That's it for me. That's it. Period. So there's that. Okay. Next up. Do we have another one here? Let's see. And I'll got to get on the content soon, but Logic sends 5. Logic Prof sends 5 and goes, Hank got absolutely spanked at Friday's hearing. If he actually thinks that Richard Green has no method, he couldn't even pass a law course at the local community college. I know. At best, he's an idiot. At worst, his prosecution strategy of draining Karen of money is completely unethical. Yeah, a lot of things he's doing is just this whole thing. His entire plan seems to be two things. Number one, make it so that Karen can't have a defense by taking away all her experts. That's number one. Okay. That is failing. He failed to get Richard Green thrown off. He failed to get Dr. Russell thrown off. And I dare him to fuck around with the ARCA people, please. Fuck around with them. Talk about fuck around, find out. Give it a shot, Spanky. Try to keep them off of this, okay? And see what happens, okay? See what happens. Give it a shot. You're not, it's not going to go very well because all he's done is make Karen Reed's defense stronger. By trying to keep Dr. Marie Russell out and saying she doesn't know what she's talking about, it forced her to read up on this more. And she testified, I actually believe it's a dog bite more than I did before. I'm even more certain of it. And then with Richard Green, oh yeah, I'm even more certain that she Googled how long to die in cold at 2:27. As a matter of fact, she Googled it at 2:27 and 40 seconds, 0.465 thousandths. Okay. That's how certain I am. She did, just in case you were wondering, that's the exact time to the thousandth of a second that she did this. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, she's done a total of 4,560 total Google searches on her phone, and she's deleted a total of 1. Okay. And Ian Whiffen, yeah, that guy ain't shit. That guy has done how many Google searches in his life? How many apps did he use or software programs did he use to try to investigate this? Oh yeah, 2. Motherfucker, I did 6. I used 6. Okay. Oh, and he said it wasn't the right version. Okay, so I tried both versions. And they both say that. They all say that. And Nicholas Guarino used this old version, so he had that. And then he didn't turn it in. Okay. And he just came back 1,000,000 times stronger. 1,000,000 times stronger. And it was like, that's it. So he just fucking dominated. Like, it's just like, and now it was undeniable before, but now it's like extra undeniable. So in trying to keep these people out, he has inadvertently made Karen Reed's case much stronger and Jennifer McCabe's much worse. Much worse. Because Jennifer McCabe did this, that salty cunt, that evil, cold-hearted bitch, Jennifer McCabe. She did this. And by the way, check it. Do you guys see these pictures? I never shared these ones before of John DePetro. This is the funniest shit I've ever seen. You got to see this. All right. So that's Lisa Crucilio. That's the baby daddy of the girlfriend of Tim Albert. Like, what a fucking picture. This is outside one of the hearings. And there's John DePetro, who I don't know where this guy, what Goodwill store this guy gets his suits at, if it's the same one that Grant gets his from. But holy shit. Then look at him. And that look at him. And then who's in the front? Put this one in the Louvre. That's Jenny McCabe in the front seat with Lisa. Look at that. Oh my God. She's so fat. Dude, Tim Albert looks at that and is like, yeah, I'm fucking that tonight. That's going to be fun. That looks like a fun project to just dig my heels into. This is who John DePetro has lowered himself. Like, what is with the suit? Look at this suit. What is that? Doesn't even match. I don't know what those shoes are. The hat, like everything. Like, this is the picture of what Karen Reed is guilty. This is what this is what their support group looks like. This is what they have. That picture is worth. That is just a beautiful picture. And then there's this one. And by the way, follow Carrie Ann, Carrie Cherry 75 on Twitter, because she has some great threads, and I don't know how much time it would take me to read this whole thing, but you should read it. It's so good. Just read it. Trust me, you'll thank me later. Richie had a good tweet here. Can you imagine if Karen Reed had deleted all her phone calls and texts like Jen did, destroyed her phone like Brian, Albert, and Higgins did, deleted ring footage like Proctor did, and presented evidence that was clearly manipulated like Lally did? Like, seriously, just think of that, think of that. What's this one? Oh, this is more like, what if the roles reversed and the McAlberts? Oh, right. This is about the assault on me at D&E Pizza. Oh, this is a great picture too from Brian Hill Photography. We just got to Photoshop that thing out of there. That's a great picture. That's going to go down in history right there. That's a great picture. Then there's, let's see, the couple. Then there's this.
Do you know who's retrying?
All right, so this chick is the most obnoxious. We got to talk about her for a minute. I think I've talked about her before. I don't know how she's really a lawyer, like a real lawyer. So her name is Catherine Loftus. She's on NBC as like a legal expert, but I think she just likes the sound of her own voice. She clearly wants attention. She's the TikTok lawyer. Now, I guess she's a former addict who reformed herself, which is great. Glad to hear she's recovered. Awesome. Good job. Good job. Not being addicted to drugs. Good stuff. And she passed the bar, and Daddy is an attorney. And so she works for his law firm, Loftus. And she does TikToks where she she kind of puts the accent on hard, and she acts like, she puts the long fingernails on and eats, grilled cheese sandwiches, and just talks about the law and makes it simple for people. And, all the people on TikTok, oh my God, thank you so much for making this complicated topic so simple. And so she's kind of built a little following that way. And she's addicted to the sound of her own voice. This woman is I've never liked her. She sent me a message when I first started writing about this, telling me how awesome my journalism was, how much she appreciated it, blah, blah, blah. And then she clearly knows, but she's one of these plebeians that sits on the fence and just can't say what's plainly obvious. Eventually she said Karen Reed, she believed she was guilty, but she wouldn't say why. Right. And this is what the TikTok she made when she found out that Hank Brennan had been hired. Just watch this. Like, this is so cringe. Watch this.
I'll keep you updated, but I had to tell you. Do you know who's retrying the Karen Reed case? Hank Brennan. We'll go around and find out.
Oh, yeah, fuck around, find out. Yeah, fuck around, find out. So fuck around, find out, for those of you unfamiliar with it, that's what people who are, under the age of 40 say. It's a term. It means like, you played with fire and you got burnt. It's kind of like that. Fuck around, find out. It's just, and when someone her age says it, it's just super cringe. But it's like supposed to be like, oh, she's saying there that the the defense fucked around, right? They fucked around with their conspiracy theories and accusations, and then they found out. And they found out because Hank Brennan's here now. Oh, big bad Hank Brennan, fuck around, find out. Oh, yeah, they're gonna find out. Well, they found out. What they find out so far there, Catherine? They found out that he's a $75,000 pussy. That's all they found out. That the Commonwealth that no one in the district attorney's office could take this case because it's such a loser case. So they brought Spanky in to get his ass beat. That's what we found. That's what we found out. We found that out. That Hank Brennan sucks, and he's completely I'm still waiting for all he does is lose. Dag Nabbit had a good tweet that I shared today listing all of Hank's losses so far. Okay, let's count the ways he's lost. The motion to pry Bill and Janet Reed's cell phone records, denied. The motion to pierce NBC and ABC off the record journalist notes and unaired footage, denied. I mean, what are they hoping to gain from this? I mean, these are literal fishing acts. Again, his plan is twofold. Number one, make it so she can't have experts. That's not working out too well. So basically just don't tell the facts and then we'll win as long as they can't tell the facts. Okay. Number two, maybe she confessed to the news, like, or her mom or dad or something like that. Like maybe they have no evidence of that. He's just a hunch. Now, he's stupid enough to think that like they wouldn't air the footage somehow. Like that wouldn't be gold for them, you know? But you know, that's his goal. I mean, that's why else would he want all these notes? The motion to exclude Dr. Russell denied. Motion to compel private off the record notes of Gretchen Voss denied. Motion to force the cell phone expert Richard Green to sit for a Daubert hearing denied. And by the way, that means Richard Green's going to testify. That's what that means, because she would not cancel the Daubert hearing if she had any intention of not letting him testify, because that would be a huge issue for the defense. To be, you're not even going to let us have a chance. Like he's in. He made Dr. Russell go through the whole thing. And she's like, we're not doing that again. That was a colossal waste of everyone's time. And she's really all about this April 1st date. Like Auntie Bev's like, we're doing this April 1st. And she knows that Hanky's the one delaying this shit. So he's like, no, we gotta speed this shit up, Spanky, loser. The request to the DOJ for additional background information about the FBI's Crash Daddy PhD report that proves John O'Keefe was not hit by a car and that KR's Lexus did not hit anyone that night denied. Yeah, so he tried to get the Department of Justice to give him background information about like he's pursuing this stupid angle, which is just hilarious, that the defense conspired with the United States Attorney's Office and the FBI to frame Michael Morrissey, which is just so, again, he's got nothing. And so he sent, I don't know if he's contacted them, I don't know what he did, but it was denied. It was denied. He wants to be able to find out what they talked about, like they would ever fucking tell him. Like they owe him anything. Like, motherfucker, what don't you idiots understand about this? You are the ones under investigation. They're not going to tell you. Like and the investigation ain't over. You're fucking stupid if you think this investigation's over. I will guarantee you it ain't over. Ever. They're not letting this one go. This is like, they might not have anything right now to bring you in and put you in cuffs yet, but it doesn't die. And they're going to get you eventually. They're going to get you. So Hanky, I honestly believe that he was just kind of doing a favor. Like he's good friends with the Krauskis, which we're going to get into. Oh, Joe, I know about the ex there. Joe Jr. I know. How's Jill doing? How's she doing? She do any witness intimidating? We got a story coming on her there, Joe Jr. You need to put your hoe on a leash, as they say. She's going to get you in trouble, Joe. But, they've taken this position that as if the federal government is just going to work with Karen Reed. Who the fuck is Karen Reed? Who is she? This is before, remember, the DOJ is involved before I got involved. Okay. If you call up 1-800-FBI and you say, hey, I think that I've been charged with murder, but I didn't do nothing, and you need to go and investigate the police because they're corrupt. The FBI is not going to waste their time with you if you don't have any evidence of this, right? There needs to be some sort of smoke for them to investigate a fire, okay? They're not just going to call every defendant. If Brian Walsh called up and said, hey, Mr. FBI, they arrested me for killing my wife, but, I think you should investigate them because they're corrupt. And they're going to be like, what evidence do you have that they're corrupt? Well, nothing. They're corrupt. Just go investigate them. Just do it. Come on. Hook me up. They're going to be like, no, they're not going to investigate all this time and resources into this shit at all. So anyway, there's that. There's also the motion to completely bar cell phone expert from talking about how long did I in cold. Okay, it's about to be denied. I think it's safe to say that. So that's a good tweet there from Dag Nabbit. Oh yeah, and then there was me in court. You guys saw this. This was on, I mean, this is, I realized I was on camera, and I realized if I move my computer to the left a little bit, that it will be whatever I put on my screen will come up. And I was just on my Facebook page, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to put this picture up there because Mello hasn't been seen in court in so long. So we have our first Mello sighting in court, in a long time. So I'd be lying if I said that wasn't on purpose. But yeah. And by the way, this guy talking about, this was my favorite thing. Like, remember he got up there and he's like, Your Honor, he doesn't even know how to spell gray key. He spelled gray key wrong. How can he be an expert? Right? Motherfucker, you spelt your own name wrong. Who the hell is Hank Brennan? Hank Brennan? Affidavit of Special Prosecutor Hank Brennan. He really spelt his own name wrong. Are you kidding me? Hank Brennan. And he's talking about, you spelled gray key wrong. What? Yeah, anyway. Oh God. Again, that's just the best thing I've ever seen. All right. Anyway, back to this. Let's see. JD sends $10, goes 24-hour stream. Sounds fire, Doc. We love you. But the guys wouldn't mind Meredith on when you need a break. Oh, I bet you wouldn't, JD. Thank you very much, sir. Britt Happens sends $5, goes, I think Mr. Gianetti over and over in court is going to permanently live rent-free in my head, along with they investigated it. This is an all-time winner of Ratchet Madness. He actually never won. Anyway, love your guts. Free Can't Read. Have a great show. Thank you very much, Britt Happens. Mr. Gianetti. Mammy Jammy Felix sends $25 and goes, I have to know. Sorry, I missed it. Mello on your laptop during the hearing was hilarious. Who's next at the next hearing? I vote Raggedy Ann. That you lovingly violated. I know, because it shocked and horrified the blue shirts. They're so like, they dance how I tell them to dance. Like I say stuff that's going to knowingly upset them just so they can get all upset about it. And, Big Red and company will go on their Twitter and act so horrified by it. And, oh, I'm so mad. I'm so offended by this. They're not really offended. I like getting them started. Retired prison captain sends $10 and goes, Karen's only obstacle is finding a jury that doesn't routinely wear hockey helmets, eat crayons, and lick the windows on the short bus. I would have to agree with that. They're retired prison captain. Rick sends 25, goes, Karen says that she was calling John while outside the house, waiting for him as he was presumably going up and down the stairs. If Garino says he was driving down the road and not going up and down the stairs, and there were calls to his cell phone around this time, doesn't that debunk the fact that they were driving? She wouldn't call if they were next to each other. Well, I think they're saying that their theory is that they sat in the car for 10 minutes and argued, and I don't fucking know. Actually, it's a good point. I didn't even think of that. It's a good point. Very good point. I like that one. Okay. Thank you. But she's devious. I mean, she's Karen Reed. She's always up to some shit. I'll be right back. I got to hit that real quick. Hold on. Let me find a video to put on there or something. Got to find something there. Hold on. What's this one?
I be looking fresh with them feds watching. I be looking fresh with them feds watching. I be looking fresh with them feds watching. New whip, yeah. Dogs, Toto. All you're doing is going down a bloody yellow brick motherfucking road. Sexual misconduct on a student. I be looking fresh with them feds watching. I be looking fresh with them feds watching. New whip, yeah. Dogs, Toto. Make your block hot. Kettle, buck 40, evil cutting evil, I be stunting. Paparazzi, put the barrel down your throat. Have you singing Lady Gaga. I be looking fresh with them feds watching. 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 New whip, yeah. Dogs, Toto.
All right, good timing. All right, back to this. Got a couple cash apps here before we show some video of earlier of yesterday's. Was it yesterday? I feel like it was so long ago, the hearing. Okay, first up we got. Let's see. Javi Baez sends. Oh wait, just sent $1. No comment. Thank you. Gene from Dorchester sends $5. Has no comment. Thank you very much, Gene. Leah M sends $10 and goes, "The grifters following Karen and Alan around." I know they're obsessed. They need to get a life. Jane sends $20 and goes, "Dismiss this case. Hank's done. Free Karen Reed." He is done. He is done. Robin sends $10 and goes, for the mellow computer screen. Priceless. I'm glad you like that there, Robin. Okay, cool. All right. All right. If anyone else wants their message read, click at the link at the top for Turtle Chat, or you can cash at me at $ Uncle Turtle Boy. All right, let's watch some highlights from yesterday's hearing, shall we? Ga. I be looking fresh. That was Gianetti, by the way. All right, hold on.
First, there's
All right.
filed a motion to recover expert related expenses from the Commonwealth, and we'll discuss that.
All right, so real quick, my thought on the Gretchen Voss thing. I'm actually on Gretchen Voss's side because Gretchen Voss is standing up for all of us journalists because they want her to hand over her notes, her off the record notes. Again, if we're forced as journalists to hand over off the record notes by some tyrant judge just because they've decided that the case is high profile enough, then I mean, you are violating the most sacred part of journalism. Like, it's off the record. I promised them to be off the record. Who would ever interview with the journalist after that? Like, off the record? Like, I can't, because it's not actually off the record. It's actually on the record. Like, because at any point a judge can just decide, I want this. So it really doesn't matter if you say on the record or off the record anymore, because they can just take it. So I'm fully team Gretchen on this, but her lawyer is really boring. And he took a shot at me during his testimony, and she got all dolled up for this. And she sat over in that chair there. Look at her. She looked like such a cunt yesterday. Look at her. She does not. That is by far the most dressed up she's ever been for a court appearance at all. She's a ratchet. She did, allegedly, according to Krusty Panties, they did shrooms together. She's basically working with the McAlberts, fully believes they're innocent. And I posted, when I got my phone extraction, I posted her message, which we're going to see. Let me just play this part where he talks about me.
Thus maintain source relationships while not media. A third factor that was concerning him was that easy allowance of media subpoenas also risks leading to a decline in investigative journalism altogether. This is the most expensive kind of journalism. Reporting, writing, editing.
And by this guy, it was so boring. He just stood up there and read off his paper.
Fact-checking investigative pieces take significant time and resources. The day of the trial, I would submit that shows that she's dedicated to covering the trial, come what may. She tells me she has in the recent past gotten more pushback on social media, including the fact that one commenter on Facebook, who I won't name,
Who? That's me.
posted her personal telephone number for everyone. And the commenter to that post suggested I'll call her right away. And she's received several strange phone calls since then.
Look at her staring at me. Look at her staring at me. So he's saying that somebody posted, poor Gretchen Voss is a victim of social media bullying or whatever. I went to jail for 60 days, bro. And you're going to talk about, yeah, seriously, this Wilford Brimley motherfucker. You're going to tell me, are you kidding me? The shit I deal with on a daily basis, the threats I get, but you don't hear me crying about it. Gretchen Voss intentionally entered herself. She didn't just write a non-biased article. She befriended the McAlberts. Krusty Panties claims they're good friends and they do shrooms together. That's what she said. Like, who knows? She could be lying about that, but that's what she says. All right. And you're going to cry about that? Are you kidding me? So I'll show you what I'll show you what he's talking about here. Let me pull it up. The tweet I had. Yeah, by the way, and they made me turn my shirt inside out. I had the Free Karen Reed shirt on. All right. Yeah, there's the Beverly one. Let's see. All right, so this is what they were complaining about. Okay. So I got my phone extraction back. And I click on it. And I'm like, this is the first text that Gretchen Voss sent me before she interviewed me. It says, "Hey, Aidan, my name is Gretchen Voss, and I'm writing a story about John O'Keefe's murder for Boston Magazine. Obviously, I've been following your excellent reporting. Wondering if you have some time in the near future to meet up and talk." And I agreed to. And obviously, that I shouldn't have done that. Because this was all a trap. Like she called my reporting excellent. If you message me and say my reporting is excellent, and then you do a hit piece on me, then you don't obviously think it's very excellent, do you? All it took was a burger from David Traub, and that's it. From her to suddenly be like, oh, actually, Turtleboy's the bad guy. And then she put a goddamn Krusty Panties video in her story. And she befriended her, and then they allegedly did shrooms together, according to Krusty Panties. And that's what happened. Like, are you fucking kidding me? So I put this on there to show that she lied. She misrepresented herself to me. And yeah, her phone number's on that. So is my old phone number. Too fucking bad. Too bad. Again, you're not a victim because she did this. She entered into this shit. She befriended the people who put me in fucking jail. And you have the nerve, Wilford Brimley, to cry about her phone number being put out there? Fuck her. Fuck her. Should I call her? I'll just call her right now. Let's see. Yeah, friendly. Just maybe we could talk about this. We could talk about this together. Hold on. Let's call her. Okay. We're calling her. Why are all you people saying no? Relax. Everything's fine. You guys don't understand the law. Hi, Gretchen. It's Aidan calling. Give me a call back when you can. I just want to talk about what happened in court yesterday. Wilford Brimley there made a comment, apparently, saying that I doxed you or something like that. I just want to bury the hatchet once and for all. And then maybe we can do shrooms together or something after that. But I just want to talk about that. I don't think it's fair to say that I, doxed you or anything like that. I put my phone extraction out there because it was, made public, and you texted me and you said that my reporting was excellent. You said my reporting was excellent. And that's kind of how you hooked me in. And that's how you made me feel comfortable with you. And was that all part of your scheme? Did you really think that my reporting was excellent on July 6th? What changed? What changed? Because then your story came out. It didn't sound so excellent then. So I just want to know, were you scamming me the entire time? Were you setting me up to make me feel like I was, a good reporter? And it was all, oh, look at this idiot. We're just going to make him, we're going to get him. Was that your plan? Or did you honestly feel that I was a good journalist? Can you tell me, please? That's all. And then we can bury the hatchet and do some shrooms together. So give me a call back when you get this. Bye. All right. Okay. People are all worried. Dude, it's not witness intimidation. I'm not She's not testifying. What are you talking about? She's not a witness. I'm a witness. Okay. It's one journalist to another calling each other to talk about that. Okay. It's respected in the industry. I just want to know. I'm genuinely curious. Was the whole thing a scam from the beginning? Or was she, did she actually like my reporting? I just want to know. Did she think it was excellent? Because she said it was excellent. Anyway, back to this. So that's the Gretchen Voss part. All right, let's play some Spanky. All right, this guy, look at him. Look at Lally. Can you guys see how Lally holds his pen? He holds his pen like a goddamn child, like this. He holds it like this. I saw him write like this. Nobody taught him how to write.
Affidavit from Mr. Green, and then another affidavit from Mr. Green that doesn't. They're two separate affidavits.
A motion to exclude Mr. Green has been called at 2:27 a.m. And secondly, to exclude an opinion that there was some type of intentional deletion of that entry. In this case, I propose on behalf of the Commonwealth is appropriate for a Lanigan hearing. At that Lanigan hearing, I suggest that Mr. Green should testify and answer questions about his affidavit and his opinions that he would like to subject the jury to. In fairness, the government would call an expert as well. This case, as the court proposed, potentially scheduled for next week. Mr. Whiffen would not be available, but Ms. Hyde would be available, and I would call her as a witness. Mr. Whiffen, if necessary, Mr. Green, I suspect should be in a position to explain his ultimate opinions, because what we see in his affidavit is an absence of methodology.
Oh, he's told me. He loves saying methodology. Like that. Ultimately, this is the big bad. Fuck around and find out. Apparently, what we're going to find out is this guy loves saying the word methodology. That's about it. That's what I found out.
In this case, they are very similar, but there are very significant changes to those affidavits. And it stands out as very interesting, the changes to the affidavits when I look at them. On number 3, he changes his characterization of what his profession is. He originally calls himself a forensic technician.
Oh, no.
Updated affidavit cites that he's a computer network technician. Now, that is odd because usually a professional knows what they do for a profession.
Wow. Got him. Got him. Wow.
Stands out.
Roasted.
Also stands out when using technical terms. They either were wrong or changed from the first affidavit to the second affidavit. For example, number 9. He talks about the download as a full file system extraction, then changed to an Apple iOS full file system.
Oh.
Now, when you look, this isn't simply misspellings or poor grammar. There are terms of art that are wrong between the affidavits or changed. When you're using the terminology of an item that is a forensic tool, such as gray key, it is spelled wrong throughout the affidavit.
Oh, my God.
That
he spelled gray wrong.
Assistance in building it. And the tone of the affidavit supports that.
By the way, like he spelled, again, this is a guy who spelled his own name wrong on a motion. Hank Brennan. This guy is not working with a full deck here.
But when we look at Mr. Green's affidavit, it is not that of a forensic examiner, it's that of an advocate for the defense.
Oh, an
advocate.
advocate.
Affidavit, there is quite a bit of advocacy, insinuations, and surmise, and conjecture, and claims that have no factual basis.
And by the way, like of anyone who's ever had an attorney who's have to write an affidavit, right, is aware that they write the affidavit. The lawyer does. You check it like that. I've been sued a million times. I've written so many affidavits. You communicate via email. You're like, okay, so what are the facts? And you tell them what the facts are. And then they type something up and then they send it to you and they go, can you read this over, please? And let me know if there's any mistakes. And if it's all good, if everything in here is factual, can you please sign it and get it back to me? That's how it works. Like, and Hank knows how it works. Hank, this is not his first rodeo. Remember, fuck around, find out. He's a really experienced guy. So he knows how this works, and he's just playing stupid here.
But there's little on methodology. In ways, it is a very dangerous affidavit.
Dangerous.
To simply make assaultive comments that a user did something, purposely deleted a very important phrase, how long dying quote, without any forensic data or evaluation or validation. Similarly, when we look at his affidavit, it is replete with accusations suggesting but never proving, never providing fact, that there was some type of manipulation or tampering with evidence. Now, this is not the role of a forensic examiner unless there is proof, in fact, that happened. But when we look through his entire affidavit, we don't see any attachment of raw data. We don't see an updated report.
I don't know.
We don't see any viable information that in any way supports his speculative accusations. And so the defense, without having an opportunity for Mr. Green prior to trial, stand behind these statements under oath, would like him simply to come before the jury, make these salacious comments, and then leave it to the government to knock it down. And that might be a common viewing the transcripts of this case. The Commonwealth does not intend to simply let evidence come in that's not qualified, that's not factually sound, and then go knock down glass houses. That is not the approach the government is going to take to this case. Mr. Green is going to testify. He should have a report that is factually based with methodology supporting
methodology.
the claims the narrative is proposing. Considering testing in this case, there are certain tools that are used. The defense wants to propose that there's some type of race that Mr. Green looked at or used more tools than a Commonwealth expert.
He did. He
Tool is
used
simply software. A good analogy is that of an X-ray. Anybody can take an X-ray, but it takes an expert then to interpret the X-ray.
What?
The data. In this case, Mr. Green in his affidavit proposes that because he used a number of tools, because he has a number of X-rays, that somehow there's significance to it. But what it lacks is a forensic analysis of that information.
What?
And it is clear in his affidavit that it lacks that.
His whole affidavit is filled with forensic analysis. What is this guy talking about? He doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't know what any of this stuff actually means. I swear to God, he's taking his cues from Plevin. Like, I think Plevin is actually, I don't think Plevin's telling this guy what to say or anything like that. But when your arguments in court are the same ones that Plevin's making on his very low rated show, it's not a good sign, my dude. I mean, is the Sim City thing happening next? Are we going to see that? Is that what you're going to produce next? Is a visual representation of this, a video that Plevin made? Because I feel like that's the way we're headed.
He cites two opinions. His first opinion is based on Cellbrite processing and Axiom processing. I'm not going to go through all the little details that we dispute.
Oh, yeah.
Go through a technical assault on each point, although that the overall idea of this evidence is why this should be subject to a Lanigan hearing and why we are willing to call our own expert as well, so that the record is clear and the science and data is clear. Instead of doing validation of testing, relying on Cellbrite, what Mr. Green has done in section number 13 of his affidavit is step aside from methodology, and instead he cites that he called Cellbrite technical service. Now, this is the forensic examiner who was supposed to go through the process, and yet he defers it to technical support.
Which you were supposed to do.
Standing on that foundation as why somehow there's some validation that this search occurred at 227. But then when he learns that Cellbrite, after actually doing analysis and study and updates and engage in methodology and review.
Methodology. How many times does it say methodology?
The program has been updated, which no longer shows the 227 search, 227, and I'll explain why for good reason.
Oh, my God.
He then defers to Axiom. Axiom, the government, the defense house, is a separate source that reinforces the same point when clearly it doesn't. You can see in number 14 of Mr. Green's affidavit, he talks about the fact he uses these different programs because he wants to view data. That gets back to the X-ray analogy. He is viewing data from many different programs to say the same thing, but he never goes on to analyze it. What is troublesome about his affidavit in section 14 is he attempts to use resource material to convince this court that rather than methodology, these summary statements are something that the court should rely on. And so what he does is he takes an excerpt, page 7 of his affidavit.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Interaction date time. And the date and time of the current tab state when it was last interacted with on the local device. And so he's taking a piece of the manual. We don't introduce the manual. And he tries to use that to buttress that this search happened at 227. What you're not offered is that in the Axiom notes, in their artifact reference guide, the description of Safari suspended state tabs, which he's referring to. And this is the death knell, really, for the analogy.
Oh, the death knell. The death knell.
The Safari suspended tabs contains the current state of each browser tab in Safari that is currently open on the local device. The date and time are only updated when the user interacts with that tab on the local device. Since these are local tab states, results from the artifact may contain an earlier date and time compared to the results of the Safari history artifact.
What?
Multiple devices on one iCloud account. And so, by Axiom itself, it makes clear that an artifact in a tab can reflect a time that is much earlier than the actual search. And this has been presented to the court, and we've provided file transcripts of. And so, certainly Mr. Green knows of the Commonwealth's argument. He knows of the opinions by Mr. Whiffen and Ms. Hyde.
Yeah.
He takes shots at them or makes mention of.
He's supposed to take shots at them. They're saying that he's not. They're saying he's wrong. So he has to literally, in order to defend himself, he has to take shots at that. Oh, God forbid we take shots at Ian Whiffen, which, by the way, we need to talk about. Ian Whiffen has testified in 2 trials in his entire life. One of them was the Kearney case. The other one was the Robert Leeming case. Okay. This guy killed his wife, or no, his girlfriend and her child. Okay. And you'll never guess what he testified for. Check this out. This is what he said in the trial. All right. In Calgary, the trial of a Calgary man who admits he killed his girlfriend and who is being tried in her young daughter's death has heard that he deleted texts and photos from his cell phone the same day the two were reported missing. Former Calgary police constable Ian Whiffen from the digital forensics team testified Tuesday at the second-degree murder trial of Robert Lemming. Whiffen says that all texts between Leeming and Jasmine Lovett, as well as 30 photos of her and her toddler, were deleted from his phone on April 23rd, 2019. You got that? You got that? The guy who is now saying that, oh, yeah, when it says it's deleted in a phone, it doesn't actually mean it's deleted, testified against a guy, literally testified against a guy who, and he testified that, oh, yeah, it says here that he deleted the messages. So he did. So he did. You can't make this shit up. He knows. Like, it's so funny. Whiffen only got, like, he just used this whole trial to promote his stupid app, ArtX. And he claimed ArtX said that the search wasn't there. Except when Rick Green used ArtX, it said that the search was there. And so then he literally, because he works at Cellbrite, he got them in the most recent version of Cellbrite to make sure that the search wasn't there when he searched for it. So there's that. There's that. Okay, back to this.
In his report, and yet he does nothing as far as validation to consider the arguments and dispel them. He does nothing in his affidavit to address the methodology.
After David.
When you see Mr. Whiffen and Ms. Hyde's reports, it isn't baseless opinions and advocacy of a side. When you look at their reports, it is replete with methodology.
Ah, there it is. Methodology.
Information-based, the study of the particular device at hand. The contrast between the actual use of methodology that is reflected in Ms. Hyde and Mr. Whiffen's report and this affidavit is so clear. Now,
He's so nervous. He just doesn't look confident.
Is proposed pursuant to this affidavit. The first is the claim that How Long to Die in Cold was somehow inputted at 227. The only effort that appears in this affidavit by Mr. Green is in section 15, where he did a low-level analysis of the wall file. Now, I am not an expert, and that's why the court should hear from Ms. Hyde or Mr. Whiffen and Mr. Green.
And Mr. Green. Wait, he just said, and Mr. Green? The court should hear from Mr. Green? You're literally trying to exclude him. Did he say that? I missed that.
Wall file. Analysis of the wall file. Now, I am not an expert, and that's why the court should hear from Ms. Hyde or Mr. Whiffen and Mr. Green. But
he said that. He just said that, right? I'm not an expert, but that's why the court should hear from Mr. Whiffen, Ms. Hyde, and Mr. Green. Okay, then what are we doing here? What are we? I guess at the Daubert hearing, he's saying.
Wall file can contain information as a repository. And the description or misunderstanding by Mr. Green of the wall file is clear in his affidavit. In fact, he implies that there were 3 searches in his affidavit, number 16.
Okay, I don't know why it keeps cutting.
It's necessary to have this claim because number 1 doesn't have any resonance.
Oh, this guy. What's going on with the feed? Was the feed like this? Was the feed like this the whole time, just cutting in and out?
The opinion number 2 the defense would like the jury to hear is that somebody somehow, whether it was a person, presumably the witness in this case, or the police somehow manipulated the phone.
Somehow.
They say there's no evidence to support that. And yet, in an affidavit under oath,
There's no evidence to support that the police manipulated the phone? Are you kidding me? When Guarino handed it over, he claimed that none of this shit was there. There was no Google searches. So what are you talking about? He claimed when he did it, he didn't find anything. So what are you talking about? He didn't manipulate the phone. Of course Jen McCabe manipulated the phone. Of course she did, because the search was deleted. Someone did that. It didn't delete itself.
Court, in an attempt of advocacy, this witness is comfortable and willing to promote a claim that has no factual basis. If a witness, an expert, is going to promote in an affidavit a claim with no factual basis, we should not trust, without vetting that witness, that their other claims have any merit or value. In opinion number 2, this expert, so-called expert, takes
so-called
to say that the McCabe cell phone could have been manipulated. Not that it was, not that I did a study, not that I have a fact. It could have been manipulated, then rehashed after manipulation with the PDF being modified. Wow. It's an extraordinary conspiracy in the world of forensic science to be able to accomplish all of those tasks.
What?
But it has no basis in fact or methodology. No good faith basis to make this assertion. Why is he? Why is he? It is because the claims he makes in opinion number 1 are so scientifically and physically unsound. This is a tactic to confuse the issue.
What?
And think about the import of this baseless claim by Mr. Green.
Baseless?
Suggesting that a witness with no other evidence whatsoever was involved in a conspiracy to murder somebody.
Oh, no.
The implication that he wants
Oh,
to
no.
be confused by. Otherwise, there'd be no other reason to make the suggestion. That is an extraordinarily harsh claim when we don't have any facts.
Well, yeah, God forbid we suggest Jennifer McCabe was involved in this murder. God forbid. We have to, protect the integrity and reputation of Jennifer McCabe, because that's your job, right, Spanky? That's what you were hired to do, protect Jennifer McCabe. We know you're friends with her friend, Carrie Lama. We know that you go out with the Krauskis. Those are your butt buddies. You get lunch with them. Joe Krauski Sr., Izzy Mandelbaum was in court there to cheer you on the whole time. We know that, Spanky. So what's going on?
Now, how could one cause manipulation? There is scientific ways that can be explained how manipulation could occur, but we don't see any of that in this affidavit because it didn't exist in this case, because there was no deletion or manipulation by the witness. There was no manipulation by the police.
There was no, it says right on the Celebrate report, 18 calls deleted. What are you talking about?
His phone. If there was, there would be some proof. This affidavit speaks volumes by the absence of fact and data and science. Mr. Green does nothing to try to demonstrate that there was user deletion on this phone or that there was manipulation by the police. When you look at the data in the phone, the question arises, why is there a 624 search and not a 623 search? The phone stores the last entry into the tab. It's not just science, it's common sense. Common sense that Mr. Green ignores. And so not being able to prove user manipulation, because it didn't happen, he turns to police manipulation. And he says that there can be a problem where the hashes don't match. But the problem is the hashes do. They match.
What? The hashes match? What?
He
What's he talking about?
He received the PDF when he received the download. And because there was a production at different times, he then sprints out into a different universe and suggests that somehow it must be because there's manipulation. And again, doesn't prove it. There's actually ways that a real forensic examiner can look at the PDF, the Reiki file, on the phone and determine whether manipulation occurred. There's a program called XMP and another one called Magic. Almost expert witnesses will do that process.
Oh, God, shut up.
Or he chooses not to do it, so he can just pause it, hand grenades throughout the case, and let them resonate wherever they fall.
Yeah.
I could give a difference of opinion. I could show that Mr. Green's anomalies have no basis in fact, but suffice to say, I think this should be done by qualified experts, and that's why there should be a Lanigan hearing.
Okay, this guy.
Well, and he should justify, explain to the court why he did not engage in methodology.
Okay, methodology.
Appropriate in this case. When we look at the different non-binding factors of Lanigan, we look at number 1, whether.
Oh, God. Okay. All right, let's jump to Fighting Bob. We're going to get to Fighting Bob Alessi now because I can't listen to this guy anymore. And this guy came to fight. This guy came to fuck. I'll tell you that much. This guy, he is a nice addition to the team, huh? He is a nice addition to this team. I mean, Alan Jackson and David Gianetti, I thought were great orators, but this guy is going to take the technical shit. I guess he just learned all this too. You would think he knew this shit like the back of his hand, how well he knew it and how he explains it so well. It was just amazing to listen to. So let's listen. Oh, there he is right there. This is Izzy Mandelbaum.
The subject matter that has been challenged by the prosecution in this case, and that is with regards to the search of House Long to Die in the Cold that occurred at 2:27:40 a.m. on January 29th, 2022. Mr. Green, and I want to cover the baseline for this hearing first. Mr. Green testified at the first trial. He testified without objections as to his qualifications. He testified without objections to his methodology. Your Honor sat, obviously presided over that trial. Your Honor did not issue after his testimony any limiting or curative instructions with regard to either his qualifications or methodology, nor did the prosecution after his testimony stand up and ask for any such limitations or qualification. The baseline for his qualifications and methodology was established again without objection. And
that was Peggy O'Keefe.
But they are being challenged now.
I was just waiting.
Like, how does your fucking phone go off like that? Like, how do you not have your phone on vibrate? Of course she does. And of course she can't figure out how to fucking turn it off. It happens to go off right when this guy is talking, you know. You can't turn the phone off. God forbid. He really cares about justice for John. Right. Sure thing.
Your Honor, they are being challenged now, but the reason I state that is because what Mr. Green has provided in response to this motion is even more detailed than what happened in the first trial.
Yes.
In Mr. Brennan's argument, he did not make one argument about Mr. Green's qualifications. Zero. So I'm assuming, because there's nothing in their motion that even goes into why he might not be qualified. So to me, Your Honor, that's a tacit concession, if not expressed, that he's qualified. And of course, he has to be qualified in digital forensics because there are 5 other areas of digital forensics opinions and methodology that Mr. Green is testifying about that has not been challenged. So to me, it is rather odd right off the jump that there's no challenge to 5 other areas of data forensics, and there's just this challenge to one artifact. And Exhibit 2 is entitled Digital Forensic Product Tools. The oral argument said 10 times just now that there's no methodology and that Mr. Green does not articulate a methodology. That is incredible to me because the opposition and Mr. Green's affidavit, in fact, are replete with the methodology. And here is the key, Your Honor. While Mr. Brennan challenges the methodology, none of his witnesses, neither Mr. Whitman nor Ms. Hyde, challenge the methodology. As a matter of fact, in their 2 reports, neither of them even describe Mr. Green's methodology, nor do they challenge it. And of course they can't, because it's the same exact methodology that they use.
Yes,
that's what
yes.
I would like to go to now. Exhibit 1 is entitled Digital Forensics Methodology Regarding Subject Artifact, J. McCabe iPhone.
Yeah, so like they use the same methodology that Ian Whiffen and Jessica Hyde used. So what are you talking about, Spanky? He just loved to say the word methodology over and over again. It's all he had.
And this is to answer the question about what is the proper interpretation of the artifact in question that everybody agrees is the artifact. Step 1, receive a full file system image of extracted data from the Commonwealth. For example, the defense received it on a USB thumb drive. That's undisputed. If you look at the reports of Ms. Hyde, you look at the reports of Mr. Whiffen, they all say they received a full file system image of extracted data. So step 1 in the methodology that everybody agrees to, everybody agrees that occurred. Number 2, verify hash signature value of image file of data received. This is very important because hash values with regard to forensic data is extraordinarily important for it to be proper because it's the signature, the fingerprint
Yes.
that allows data forensic examiners to be sure that the data that they're giving is sacrosanct. It is
Like, see how he explains it so well? Like what the hash value means. I didn't know what the fuck a hash value was. A hashtag or hash brown or whatever he called it. But it's the digital fingerprint, he says, of so basically like if it needs to be hashed first. I don't know what that means. But he explains it all, exactly why the hash is important and the fact that they didn't do the hash the first time around, I guess. And that means it's not authenticated because they didn't do the hash. I think that's how it goes. But he
not possible for manipulation. The Commonwealth just said that Mr. Green has hurled several accusations without a basis, one of which regards the potential for manipulation of data. And it's remarkable that there is even an issue about this dispute. Mr. Green did put in his affidavit an unprecedented situation, and it is this. Mr. Garino, Trooper Garino, in his April 2023 report, which is an exhibit to our opposition, states that when he got the phone of Ms. McCabe, he used Celebrite UFED, a tool of Celebrite, to image the phone. And that's all he sent to the defense in the beginning. Why is that unusual? Because what happens in every case, without exception, is that the law enforcement sends the raw image, original data that has the hash signature on it. And the hash signature is an algorithm that produces, they call it, in this case, SHA-256. What it is it's a stamp of reliability that says, as soon as we got this data, we immediately processed it the proper way and put a hash signature so that there could be no contest.
Right.
What the Commonwealth fails to tell the court, Your Honor, is...
Come on, Law and Crime. What do you have, Tourette?
And that leads any proper data forensic investigator to question the integrity of the data. If you turn to, Your Honor, Mr. Whiffen's very long December 2024 report, which is Exhibit 1 to the Commonwealth's motion on page 3, and I'm going to read it verbatim. This value is talking about with great key extractions as the PDF containing is saying, I can't validate this hash value because of the way Trooper Garino processed it.
What the fuck, Law and Crime?
Mr. Garino, Trooper Garino, the right way when he got it. And why is this of concern? Add to this point that's conceding that the hash value in this data cannot be validated. How did the defense get this? When Mr. Garino used the Celebrite UFED reader, all he turned over in the beginning was the UFED reader report. He didn't turn over the data, the full. So Mr. Green had to ask for the data. Then what happens, misstep number 2, Trooper Garino only provides a PDF of the hash value. He used Gray Key, which was a mistake, because Gray Key, you can't get the original hash value. Mr. Green had to go back a second time and say, no, we don't want just a PDF. We want the full extraction. Finally, after the second time, the defense got the full extraction. And that's when we discovered that the validation was improper. It's not Mr. Green that is coming up out of thin air with these issues. This is the job of a data forensic person. And the first principle is to see whether the data is valid. So not only does Mr. Green justify in his affidavit why there's a big concern over this, Mr. Whiffen concedes it on page 3 of this report. That starts, and I'm going to get to it, all the concerns now about the data and deletions. But that's the foundation for it, and it wasn't caused by the defense. It was caused by Trooper Garino, who didn't do this properly.
I can't wait to see this guy cross-examine Ian Whiffen. That smug little fuck. And Jessica Hyde. He is going to destroy them because if you recall, David Gianetti cross-examined, he had Richard Green, I believe. I don't remember who had Whiffen and Hyde. I don't know if you guys can remember that shit. You trial junkies. But he is going to eat them up for like it's going like I feel like they were treated with kid gloves last time because we didn't know. You know, they didn't know, like this guy knows it so well. Like he knows this topic like the back of his hand, and he's just ready to destroy them on shit. And I don't blame David Gianetti, obviously, for not knowing, like he's not a data nerd. Like who the fuck knows what any of this shit means? This guy learned it. This guy learned it. He's a great addition to the team. And I think I'm pretty sure in the next trial, Bob Alessi, Fighting Bob, is going to have, he will be in charge of the questioning and cross-examination of all three of the tech people. All right. Green, Do-Rag Lady, and Whiffen. I'm pretty sure this guy is going to do it because he was excellent. Did Gianetti get all three last time? And that's fine because Gianetti there's plenty of other people for him to get. But this is going to go to this guy because this guy loves the data shit. You could tell. He's just so into it.
And with regard to the methodology, I want to go back to
Sir, Ian Whiffen.
So importantly, Your
Yes,
Honor,
sir.
1 through 4 of this methodology is undisputed by all of the data forensic persons. Mr. Whiffen, Ms. Hyde, and Mr. Green all agree on 1 through 4. They all agree that this is the methodology. Number 3, once you get the image of the file, each examiner saves the image to their lab storage system. Some use computer servers, some cloud storage. And 4, the methodology, you then process the data with appropriate tools. Nobody disputes that Celebrite Physical Analyzer and Magnet Forensic Axiom are 2 of the many tools that are available to use. There's a dotted line that I put there, Your Honor, because 1 through 4 is undisputed by all 3 data forensic examiners. Number 5, and 1 through 4 is usually all one needs to do as a data forensic examiner, but Mr. Green went on to do more. Number 5, further processing of data as warranted, and he explains why it's warranted here with additional tools.
I know,
He then went on
it
to
is,
examine
it
Forensic
is.
Browser, ArtX, Belkasoft X, and then he didn't use iLeap. Ms. Hyde used iLeap. So it's important to line up the methodology. I just don't understand how it can be stated that there's no methodology stated. Not only does Mr. Green state it, we prove undisputed that everybody agrees this is what the methodology is. And that is what is so flummoxing as to why we're even here, because the methodology is agreed upon. What is disputed, Your Honor, is what are the opinions from when you apply the methodology and you apply these tools. So interestingly, it is Mr. Whiffen who provided the most lengthy report in this motion. Mr. Whiffen only used 2 forensic tools.
Oh, only used 2.
Celebrite Physical Analyzer and his own software.
ArtX. Yeah.
That's it. What I'd like to, Your
Didn't
Honor, is
use
ask my
Axiom.
colleagues if you could turn to Exhibit 2, which is entitled Digital Forensic Exhibit, to show the tools that all parties used. And the purpose of this is to show how closely Mr. Green.
I mean, these are the dumb people I was looking at. You got the leprechaun guy there, Brennan Keane, who made a fool of himself on. He's like, this conspiracy, haha, it's so stupid, it's ridiculous. I mean, a dog, get out of here. This is crazy. Don't you know she was mad at him? Yeah. Oh yeah. And then there's John Jackson. John O'Keefe, salt of the earth guy, great guy. Take the shirt off his back for you. Just awesome guy. Yeah, awesome guy. Yeah, just we just it was the family. We know she did it because she was acting. She did it. She totally did it. Yeah, these are some of the dumbest people. Then you got Ginny Sack, the cousin there, and the other stupid cousin. And then look at the guy behind her. I swear to God, that guy's dying of leprosy. They bring that poor guy out and throw him a blue sweatshirt on him every hearing. And he's there now, whoever he is. I don't know why they put that guy through this, but I have to stare at them. I'm like, what are they thinking when they listen to all this? Are they listening to anything? Like, is it just in one ear and out the other?
And this high match up with the tools used and how insufficient Mr. Whiffen and Mr. Garino are. So if you look at the left-hand column on Mr. Green, and I color-coded it to try to make it easier, You see 7 tools used by Mr. Green. You see 6 tools used by Ms. Hyde in May of 2023. Many of her tools exact same as Mr. Green. You see Mr. Whiffen, who used really 2 tools, but to be conservative, I listed them as 3 because they're just different versions of Celebrite Physical Analyzer. And then Mr. Garino, Trooper Garino, used 2 tools. But here's what's really important and I think remarkable that springs from this chart. Mr. Green did more, had a more encompassing and comprehensive review than any of the witnesses here. And back to Exhibit 1, he did 2 more steps in his methodology than everyone else. So 1 through 5 of the methodology, everybody did. 6 is analyze overall user activity, artifacts of interest, timelines of interest, and anomalies such as deleted. The issue in this case as to whose interpretation is correct is an opinion issue. It is not a methodology issue.
Right.
And Mr. Green makes that very, very clear. There's a difference in methodology, a difference in application of methodology, or in opinion, which is not the subject of a Dalbert Lanigan hearing. Starting on
The general point here is that these people have a difference of opinion, okay? Not a difference of methodology. They just have a difference of opinion about whether or not the search occurred at 227. And that is up for a jury to decide who they believe. But this guy is eminently qualified, more qualified than any of these dopes.
lines 14, the question. And what, if anything, did you find with regard to the web history artifacts? Answer. This is Mr. Whiffen. So the 22740 timestamp was correct insofar as that is the time that is shown within the database. It was indeed a deleted record. But the interesting thing was why the timestamp said 22740. And I did some testing on this and discovered the reason why 22740 was actually listed in the database, even though that's not the time. Here's the key, in my opinion, that the search was conducted. So Mr. Green's opinion is, after applying the methodology that everybody agrees to, after using the same tools as every other witness for the Commonwealth used plus more, Mr. Green's opinion is, to a reasonable degree of scientific certainty, that that search and that record that everybody saw at the time of trial, at 22740, House Alone to Die in the Cold, Mr. Green says, it means what it says. The search occurred at that time. Now, the Commonwealth, in its recent reports, and they did this also at trial, they said, yeah, we see it, it's in there. Ms. Hyde said, I see it, it's not only in there in Celebrite Physical Analyzer, I used Axiom, just like Mr. Reed. Mr. Whiffen didn't use Axiom. Ms. Hyde said, and I'm going to point to it specifically, Axiom shows it as a 220, that search is a 224. In fairness to trying to get the best decision for Your Honor here, they disagreed, Mr. Whiffen and Ms. Hyde, as to whether that meant the search actually occurred at 22740. That's the opinion that's disputed. So in fairness to the issue and accuracy, those witnesses diverted at the end as to whether
honestly, I found myself dozing in and out of not losing. Even this guy cannot keep my focus that much during this topic. It's so boring. And you can't do it at 1.75 speed. You can't do it. I can't hear the word methodology over and over again. All I know is Richard Green is eminently qualified and he's sure that this happened. Let the man testify. Let him testify.
That timestamp showed 227:40 a.m. Did the search really occur then, or is the Commonwealth said that it did occur at 6:23 in the morning? Mr. Whiffen says it's a difference of opinion because he says it's my opinion. The Commonwealth in this motion tries to make it seem like an issue is an issue of fact, and that Mr. Green doesn't have any fact. Well, Mr. Green's got a lot of facts, and he also, of course, has an opinion.
Yes.
So what we have from these 2 demonstrative exhibits, quite remarkable, is that neither Mr. Whiffen in his 40-plus page report of December 24, nor Ms. Hyde in her December 24 4-page report, neither one of them say Mr. Green's doesn't have a methodology. They don't say we dispute his methodology. It's the Commonwealth's attorneys that are making that dispute. And that is not appropriate. What is also important has happened since the trial. And what I want to do is give a baseline of the trial because I think it underscores. All I'm going to say about that is Mr. Green has 25 years of experience in computer forensics, and he has 18 years in digital forensics. And the 18 is only because digital forensics became a thing 18 years old. There can be no dispute, and I think that's why the Commonwealth didn't really say anything about it, is because if you lay down Mr. Green's experience next to Mr. Whiffen, Mr. Green testified 20 times as a qualified digital forensic expert in 7 different states. Mr. Whiffen, he's testified in 2 states, one of which was here, and he does not have anywhere near the years of experience. Here's another very important.
Actually, one state in one province. Alberta is a province of Canada. It doesn't count as a state.
Point. Certifications. Mr. Green lists 3 certifications. He lists an enormous amount of constant updating. And I just want to state a point about digital forensic experts. They're not like medical doctors where you see people with PhDs, etc. These are folks that keep updated because the computers change so much. So that's why you see such a great listing of Mr. Green in terms of his training and certificates, etc. However, if you compare Mr. Whiffin's qualifications to Mr. Green, and I'm again going to use Mr. Whiffin's own words with regard to his qualifications on his June 7th, this is again Exhibit 2 to our opposition, his June 17th trial testimony, page 1-6. Question. And this is a question from Mr. Levy. Now, with regard to your education in this area, what, if any, certifications do you have? Answer. No specific certifications. I've done the Celebrate coursework since joining Celebrate, but other than the 3-week course in Ottawa, and then again the 2-week course in Ottawa, those are police training things that we use policemen. I don't have the SANS training or any of that kind of training certifications. Now, I'm not here today to challenge Mr. Whiffin's qualification, but how could it possibly be asserted that Mr. Green's not qualified if these are the qualifications of Mr. Green?
That's a good question. It's fair.
Changed since the first trial, and I think this is
fair.
Very important with regard to the methodology inquiry of Your Honor. I went through on Exhibit 1 the methodology that everybody agrees to, but the court doesn't have to take my word for it on this demonstrative exhibit.
Oh, really?
Because Ms. Hyde gives the best explication of the methodology
Oh.
that Mr. Green used, because she used the same one before trial and at trial, but she's now narrowed it for purposes of a report, and I'm going to state and show exactly how.
Oh,
Exhibit 4
okay.
of our opposition, Your Honor, is the May 2023 Digital Forensics Analysis Report of Jessica Hyde. And in that report, on page 3, she talks about, under forensic analysis, that she used, it's the exact same methodology.
What are you? I thought you said Exhibit 4. Exhibit 4 is a transcript.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry, I can do it either way. Mr. Whiffin's report that is now before you, Mr. Whiffin only used, in his analysis now, Celebrite Physical Analyzer and ARDEX, his own tool. He only used 2 tools. Ms. Hyde, in her 2024 report, which I will get to, is now down to just using 1 tool, Celebrite Physical Analyzer, because she states that's the only one I was asked to look at. So the Commonwealth went and narrowed the request of Ms. Hyde to just Celebrite Physical Analyzer.
Oh.
And what's going on here? It's very obvious. The Commonwealth is ignoring, in its 2024 December reports, all the other tools. Even though those tools show this timestamp of 22740 still, at that time, they now just ignore it and go to the Celebrite Physical Analyzer. That it's undisputed that Celebrite went back and changed it in the middle of the first trial with regard to one physical analyzer program. And then after the trial, the other physical analyzer program, they went and changed that and took it off. But in contrast, Axiom, that Ms. Hyde used before, still shows the timestamp. It's undisputed that that's the case. And it's undisputed because they don't contest it, that Mr. Green went and looked at it in Belkasoff, Sanderson.
Yeah.
And if the point, is it better to use more tools? It's common sense. That's what Mr. Green says. That's what Ms. Hyde did the first time, but now all of a sudden she's down to just 1 tool that unilaterally removed the timestamp. So
Yes.
here is the page of the transcript of what Ms. Hyde had.
So again, Jessica Hyde had an original report in May of 2023 that said that the 227 search happened. And then and then Whiffin came along, Sir Ian Whiffin, and then her December 2024 report said that, oh, actually, no, that didn't actually happen. December 2023, I think. We've been doing this for a while. I honestly forget all the dates. December 2023. That's right. Okay. Man, the last year has flown by. I'll tell you that much. Ever since I got out, I forgot. Like I went to jail at the end of 2023. That was my jail into 2024. I celebrated New Year's 2024 in jail, which is crazy to think about. But yeah. So yeah, it's been a while. Can you believe it's been like 2 years of this shit? Like we have to go over what month or what year of December it was. Like it's just fucking crazy. But anyway, she changed her opinion after Ian Whiffin came on board.
Page 1-13, Your Honor. Okay. Line 4. Question. Again, of Mr. Lally. Now, with reference to the tools that you use that you just went through, are those fairly common tools? Are those tools that are commonly used within your industry? Answer, yes. And what are those tools that she talks about above? Starts on page 1-2. Celebrite Physical Analyzer. Commonly used within your industry. Answer, yes. They are commonly used digital forensic tools that are very standard for other forensic examiners to use on abilities and look at data a little bit differently. Skip down. Commercial forensic tools that they can only support so many applications, so they each work and support different bits of data. Here's the key point, line 22. This is Ms. Hyde's words, under oath. So it's important to use multiple tools so you can see the results from different data sets, and be able to compare those results and enhance those with manual analysis. Next page. Question, and with respect to this will be the last question and answer, and with respect to using those sort of different variety of tools, Celebrite, to Axiom, to Artex, etc., is that something you typically do as far as your normal process of documenting a forensic analysis? Answer. Yeah, that is very, very typical for me to process with multiple tools to ensure that I'm getting the most complete interpretations from forensic tools. Of course, you go beyond that with your SINS tool, which Mr. Green and Ms. Hyde used, but Mr. Whiffin didn't, is meant to look at specific type of data structures.
All right, so we get the point there. But he's so good at it, man. He just keeps going.
It's gone. The search is gone, right? And we know why it's gone, because Celebrite, Mr. Whiffin, concedes that he went back and talked to the researchers.
How about that?
Mr. Green, which are all supported. Every single one supported with facts. But what the Commonwealth didn't tell the court is what the request was of Ms. Hyde. I just went through all the tools she used, why she used them, why she said it's best practices, why you use all these tools. What does she do now in December of 2024 to assist in the myopic approach of the Commonwealth to say, here's our studies, we only look at Celebrite Physical Analyzer, and it's gone. The search is gone, right? And we know why it's gone, because Celebrite, Mr. Whiffen, concedes that he went back and talked to the researchers, and what we have, Your Honor, is a total black box. And I'm going to point it out in a moment. Why is this no longer appearing on Celebrite Physical Analyzer? We don't know the answer. All that is stated is a bold conclusory statement that it's no longer reliable.
I know why.
That's it. We don't know why it's no longer reliable, but we know it's gone. And Mr. Whiffen never says, even though it's gone.
It's gone because Ian Whiffen went to Celebrate and said that I'm going to make sure it's not in the latest update of it. So it's not going to appear in the latest update because I work for Celebrate, so I can do that apparently. Like somehow this guy can just change data and change evidence if he doesn't like it and it wants to support his opinion.
One, he doesn't even address the other 4 or 5 tools where it still appears. It still appears. Now to Ms. Hyde. Disquietingly, on page 3, look at the request, please. The request was to understand changes made in newer versions of Celebrite Physical Analyzer to artifacts pertaining to the timeline of a Google search on January 29, 2022, namely, House Long to Die in Cold. That is stunning. The request to her was simply to look at one tool that everybody knew by then Celebrite had deleted in their program. She then looks at evidence analyzed, second paragraph. This full file system image was processed with Celebrite Physical Analyzer, version blah, 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 decoding engine, etc. Where is her analysis of Axiom? That was in her May 2023.
Yeah.
Is very interesting, but it's buried, and here's what it is on page 4. After she goes through and states what everybody knows is Celebrate just went back and for some reason deleted it, she says under the chart, while manual analysis of the database still shows.
So you're telling me that we should have a hearing?
Your Honor,
No, how about this?
This
Auntie Bev doesn't say shit, and she throws in these little zingers like this one. Listen to this shit.
is that this timestamp does not demonstrate that the URL was visited at the time of the last visit timestamp. So here she did a manual analysis, and it still shows up, but she doesn't explain the significance of that. If we want to talk about reliability, Your Honor, the real question should be the reliability of the prosecution's witnesses in Celebrite Physical Analyzer.
So you're telling me that we should have a hearing?
Your Honor, there's no need to have a hearing, and here's why.
It's like, so you're telling me, no, you know goddamn well that's not what he's saying, Auntie Bev. You finally say something and you say that. Like that's, oh my God, she sucks.
There's no need for a hearing because there's no disagreement on the Daubert issues. The dispute over what is the interpretation of this data, what are the people's opinions, is never one for Daubert. If that were the case, there'd be a Daubert hearing on every expert because experts, almost by definition on each side, disagree on the opinions. We don't need a hearing, Your Honor, because they agree on the methodology. They agree that more tools are better. They agree that the difference is at the very end of the analysis, which is the opinion. So in terms of the issues with regard to Mr. Green's report, which is my final point to get to, there's been so many mischaracterizations by the Commonwealth this morning of what Mr. Green did and what he said. So what does he do? He says, and Your Honor, digital forensic analysts are the equivalent of a medical examiner. Their job is to look at data, and this I call the end. They look at circumstances surrounding it and all information. Well, that's what digital forensic examiners, and Mr. Whiffen is one of them who did that. Secondly, what Mr. Green pointed out on the issue of was this leak. So what does Mr. Green say? He says that strongly suggests one of two things. Either there was user interaction deletion, or there was post-imaging manipulation, how long to search or how long to die in the cold. But Mr. Green points out that's incorrect. They had two different tag numbers. So that theory of the prosecution, only one deletion.
Then this is a big thing. I'm glad he finally got to this. This whole tab thing that they said, she was searching Hockomock Sports at 227 on that tab. And then she opened it later on and on that same tab and searched for how long to die in cold. So it came up as that. Well, as it turns out, she used a completely different tab to search for that at 623, a completely different tab. So that is complete bullshit. Complete bullshit.
Of a search out of 4,056. I think it's malpractice if a digital forensic examiner doesn't point that out.
Yeah.
Another key thing he points out is an anomaly. The Commonwealth said there was a tab number for Hockomock Sports, and that they said it was the same tab number for how long to search or how long to die in the cold. But Mr. Green points out that's incorrect. They had two different tab numbers. So that theory of the prosecution can't be right. So Mr. Green wasn't hurling accusations. He was doing what data forensic examiners do, is pointing out all these anomalies. These aren't things you normally see, and they're not explainable. Here's the last point I'll make, which there's also agreement. There's this deletion of this one search. Mr. Whiffen can't explain why. He says, well, maybe it was a spontaneous deletion. There's no such thing in data forensics as spontaneous, and he doesn't cite me. Maybe it's because the search didn't load. Maybe it's because there was bad connectivity at where the search occurred. Well, that's interesting because a harder thing to load, the image that came up with food, did load. So you gotta have stronger connectivity to get an image that dense. So what Mr. Green simply points out is that doesn't make any sense either. That is the essence of Mr. Green's affidavit. And Your Honor, just to be clear, when we sent in the second affidavit of Mr. Green, we put in the cover, and Your Honor may not have gotten this, that it was to replace the first affidavit because there were some typos, et cetera, et cetera. So you'll see two dates of the affidavits, and it's the later date, and I'm going to give you the specific one that controls.
No, I have both.
Okay, right.
Oh, okay.
The second one on the body of it does not say it's a supplemental or anything. If it was in the cover letter, that's what they're both docketed, so they're both
I
reading
was just going to say, we wanted to have them both there for whatever purpose Your Honor wanted, but there's been some question about why two, and it's a simple explanation. One supersedes the other. So Your Honor, in terms of, and this will be the concluding part of my remarks.
Okay.
In terms of the allegation that Mr. Green relies upon technical support at Axiom, and he relies upon technical support of Axiom, and the statement that is just remarkable, that that's the basis for his expertise. Mr. Green makes very clear that he did his own analysis.
Right.
He used the tools himself, but here's why he called Celebrite. At the time of trial, Celebrite had two versions of Physical Analyzer.
Right.
On the market.
All right.
Celebrite
So let's go. I'm gonna
1 week
jump to Spanky here. Okay, because we got the point. He's awesome. He does great. And here's Spanky's milquetoast response. And Bob Alessi's kind of mic drop at the end. We got here Alessi's mic drop. Hold on. All right here.
Every issue is undermined because there was a picture of food which is suggested through a application search. Misunderstands the basic premise that that's a cache picture. And that is meant for the user of a phone, for the user experience. And so there is cache items that are available.
Cache.
Register and come up.
So it's pronounced cached, not cache. Cache is like a thing of guns, I believe. So it's pronounced cached, young man. Spanky, but and you're literally getting up here like this guy doesn't know anything about digital forensics. Cache. Can't even spell gray key. Hashtag.
Quicker from a different source while it's waiting for a search to be conducted. It's simple. It can be explained. It's science. It's data. So when you take a little bit of data and you twist it because you misunderstand it or you want to advocate, that's the danger. And that's why it's best left to experts. What the defense apparently is mistaken about is that using a number of tools does not substitute for methodology. You can use one tool. You can use 30 tools. They're all going to say on the timestamp that how long the guy in the code occurred at 227 on that browser. That is the time that was open. That window was open at 227. But you
It wasn't.
Different tools that are all going to say the timestamp is the same. You have to look into the data and into the databases, knowledge C, the history, and you have to determine what artifacts exist to show that occurred at that time. And when you do that in this process, it is clear that 227 starts counting after 6 a.m. in the morning. And so that's what Mr. Green doesn't do. He doesn't engage in methodology at all. There's an agreed methodology. He doesn't use it. The defense points to Ms. Hyde's report, how it's narrow. It's narrow because it's an addition to her 2023 report. Mr. Green has not written the report. He has not provided data. He has not provided that he has used methodology. He has not engaged in the process of studying the data. He made a couple of phone calls.
He made a couple phone calls. That's so disingenuous. Like he called them after he did his own methodology, after he did his own investigation and ran it. And there's two versions of it. And he wanted to clarify with them why this was. Like, what are you talking about? He acts like he called 1-800-Celebrate and like they did it for him because he's completely incompetent. Hank knows that's not what he did.
Seen a report from Mr. Green. There isn't. Because if he actually does the testing and takes a phone and tested his hypothesis, he would dispel his own hypothesis. And if he doesn't do that, we'll do that for him. There is no hashtag concern. And when the
Hashtag, there's that.
Ideas, we never hear what the problem is. What is the hashtag?
Hashtag?
Who manipulated it? And that is the MO. Blame anybody. Don't articulate who. Be like a ghost, evasive as possible, and then when it gets knocked down,
Hashtag.
theory. The government offers to bring in Jessica Hyde next week or English at another time. Is it common? No, it's not. It's because the government has no fear of a hearing to help educate the court on the data science that is at play here. And so,
Oh yeah, data science.
we have no reluctance to. So there is a real accuracy on the fallacies that Mr. Green promotes in this case. And so we're happy to do it. We welcome it.
Oh, here we go.
Did you want to say anything very
Oh,
briefly,
yes,
Alessi?
very
60 seconds
briefly.
to let you know. Thank you for the opportunity. The Commonwealth said a little knowledge is dangerous. I don't know what a hashtag is. I've never heard of what was just said as a hashtag. It's a hash value, and it's a very important concept to get right.
I don't know what a
With
hash.
regard to the whole premise and point of my argument, Your Honor, that this is a difference of opinions, it was just made by the Commonwealth Morning. What was said, it's alleged that Mr. Green has reckless opinions. My point exactly, take away the recklessness. They're going after his opinions, and it's been stated now by the Commonwealth itself. It's the opinions, and those are not proper for a Gallup here. Thank you, Your Honor.
Mic drop.
All right. Well, thank you. So it sounds a lot like it may just be a disagreement in opinions, but for the Commonwealth, I will look more closely at your methodology arguments that were made today. If
Yeah.
I decide that we need a hearing, an evidentiary hearing, and that I cannot.
As soon as she said that, she made it clear. It's just even I think it's just a difference of opinions, dear.
Decide this motion based on everything before me, I will let you know no later than Monday.
Cash me outside. How about that?
Next week, and I'll let you know. All right. So, and not that I would exclude something simply because it takes a lot of time, but we really need to make sure we keep this case on track for the April 1st trial. So I have a question for the Commonwealth on where we stand in discovery, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the motion to recover expert-related expense.
My Rule 14 commitments are ongoing. They are involved. Normally, my 12 months has been spent trying to satisfy that I can account for.
All right, so we can stop there. You guys got the point. But yeah, man, it's like, I don't know what a lot of this stuff means, but I'm anxious for a jury to hear it. All I know is Rich Green sounds stronger than ever, and all of the Commonwealth experts are going to be smart, more confident in their opinions, and it's reasonable doubt. Just hammer home. You know what I thought of they need to do this time around? Remember Proctor stood up with the stupid taillight? And it's like, ooh, look at, I found the taillight with his gloves on. I'm a real cop. I'm wearing gloves, can't you see? And there was tape, this evidence folder was taped, so it's real official. And he pulls out the and shows the jury the taillight. Oh, look at this taillight. They need, I don't know if they asked him this because there was so much to ask Proctor. Jackson should be like, can you take out that taillight again, please, sir? You showed off last time. I don't think he asked him to do that. Can you take out the taillight again, please? Show the jury the taillight that you found on February 18th, please. The final pieces of taillight. That Czechoslovakia motherfucker one. Yeah, that one. Yeah, the big one. Show that one again. The one the size of the dinner plate. Can you show that one? Okay. Show that to the. Are you telling? I want you to hold that up and show the jury. And while I'm talking to you, I want you to continue to hold that up. And I want to ask you, do you expect this jury to believe, sir, that piece of taillight that you're currently holding up was on the ground on Brian Albert's front lawn for 3 weeks and no one noticed it, including you, when you came there on February 8th and on February 11th? Do you expect this jury to believe, sir, that the entire Canton Police Department missed that when they brought their leaf blower out and undid and went over the whole yard, that they missed this one? Just, I want you to keep holding it up so they can actually see. So they can actually see and be reminded that that one was found on February 18th. That one. That was not the one that they found at the CERT team search. The CERT team missed that somehow. They missed the whole thing. Okay. Somehow. And that needs to be, they need to bring that taillight back and just hold that up and say that. That's what they need to do. Because the jury needs to see that taillight and just be reminded, bro, in case you want to believe that we are making this whole shit up about planting evidence, all this stuff, just understand this. We're not the crazy ones here. They want you to believe that everyone missed this one, the biggest one. They missed it. Show the freaking weather. Show what the weather was like that week. It was in the 50s and 60s for 2 weeks. Yeah, everything melted. But that one just appeared itself. You know, I said I wasn't going to show this. I'm going to go and show it. I'm going to read to you guys Carrie's Twitter thread because it was so good. Again, follow this chick. She's great. All right. So bear with me here. Okay. Oh, wrong one. All right. So, when people talk about the Kearney case in terms of conspiracy, that some people beat the crap out of a guy, threw him on the lawn to die, and had their cop buddies plant evidence to frame this guy's girlfriend, it sounds insane. But even if you remove every bit from this case, you're left with a scenario that's just absurd. And that makes it really hard for John to get justice. Let's take the taillight, the main piece of evidence, and walk through what we learned at the first trial when you piece together all the testimony from different witnesses over the course of several weeks to create the big picture. You're left with another outlandish story for a jury to consider. Okay. So You've got these small town cops who respond to a scene at 6 o'clock in the morning. There was a man lying on someone's front lawn in a blizzard. All they know is that the man is unconscious and has visible injuries. Paramedics take him to the hospital. It seemed unlikely the man would survive. Now, these cops don't normally handle a case like this, but the state police say, call us back if he dies. So the cops decide to try to figure out what happened. There was one woman on scene that was running around screaming hysterically, allegedly asking, did I hit him? Could I have hit him? The cops try to talk to her, but she's not making sense, so they just send her home. Another woman on the scene says, this is my sister's house, and they're standing outside of it. They're all friends with the guy in the snow. In fact, they were at the bar with him the night before, and they invited him. The man and his girlfriend, the screaming woman, were invited to come over the house for an after party. The woman thought she saw their car pull up outside, but no one ever came in. So the cops go in the house, talk to the homeowners and a couple other partygoers from the night before who showed up. One of them brought donuts. Everyone is sitting around the kitchen table, shrugging their shoulders, unable to figure out how the guy ended up on the lawn. So that's the Canton police are there. And they're like, oh, gee whiz. Yeah, I don't know how the guy ended up there. Well, got the donuts? Oh, good. The donuts are here. That's great. Awesome. I don't know how that happened. Yeah, but there's a woman outside saying crazy shit, and you sent her home for some reason. And, whatever. So it goes on. It does not seem to occur to any of these cops to go knock on some doors. The people inside the house didn't see anything. Maybe the neighbors did. Maybe the neighbors have ring cams. That thought doesn't seem to enter their minds. But they do decide to take a look around the yard. And they see a couple drops of blood in a broken cocktail glass. Voila, a clue. They don't have any evidence containers, though. The police station's a couple minutes away, but the snow's really coming down. They don't have time for that. Thank goodness the acting police chief lives across the street. The screaming woman and the multiple ambulances and fire trucks and flashing lights didn't wake him up, so the cops go knock on the door. Hey, chief, sorry to bother you, Kelleher. You got anything we could use to collect some blood? The acting chief doesn't decide to act like a police chief and come outside and take charge of the investigation, but he does have a brand new pack of red Solo cups. The cops return to the yard, scoop up the 6 drops of blood into 6 different cups. Genius. Wait, they can't just put the loose cups in their car. It might spill. One of the cops has an old Stop and Shop bag in the truck. That'll work. Okay. Now, they need to decide how best to collect the cocktail glass. There's a couple inches of snow on the ground and the glass is clear. No one has a snow blower, but one guy is like, hey, Sarge, I've got a leaf blower at the house. The police station was too far to go to get the evidence containers, but these are extreme circumstances. They fire up the old leaf blower, start cleaning off the entire area surrounding where the man's lying. This thing's working great. They're able to get all the way down to the bare ground in a 12 by 12 patch of yard. They even get the snow off the entire curb line on that side. They search closely and carefully because that cocktail glass was clear and they want to make sure they get every piece. They gather up everything they can find after this very detailed search, which was a couple more pieces of the glass. Nothing else was there. Clearly not 45 pieces of taillight, some bright red in the size of a salad plate. Certainly not a black hat. Certainly not a shoe right up against the curb. They don't see any of that. So at this point, it's 9 o'clock. Their work is done. They learned the man died. The state police were taking over. They'd probably arrive any minute, right? So they just leave. They just leave. They do nothing to protect and preserve the crime scene. They tried to tape it up earlier, but it was too windy. Maybe it never occurred to them to try something like having a cop sit outside in his cruiser until the state police got there. They'd used up all their creative solutions with the Solo cups and the leaf blower. Or maybe they just didn't care. I don't know. Surely the state police would be there soon. Nothing nefarious happens in this town. So what's the harm, right? No one's going to be outside in the blizzard to walk through a crime scene. The homeowners seem nice. They're not going out in the yard. Everything's fine. 8 hours later, the state police show up. At this point, they think the screaming girl from the morning hit the guy with their car. Her taillight was cracked. They took custody of the car. Now they got to go find the missing pieces. Now, maybe the small town cops didn't tell the state police. They leaf blew the hell out of that yard and there was no taillight. Or maybe the state police was like, we can't trust these morons. Either way, the state police wanted to do their own search. The search guys get there as the sun is setting. It's dark and more than a foot of snow has fallen since the morning. But this was not going to stop them. There were 3 guys standing around the search team. No one knew who they were or what they were doing, but whatever, they had work to do. This highly specialized search force makes its plans. They're going to go side by side through the yard in a grid recovery to cover every single inch. They shined their car headlights on the lawn so they could see. This was certainly more sophisticated than a leaf blower. About 45 minutes later, after this detailed grid search, those trained searchers unearthed 3 little pieces of taillight, or maybe it was 5. At trial, it turned into 5. That's another good point. Turned into 5. Anyway, the point is they found a few pieces. They also found a shoe in the same small area the town cops cleared off that morning and found nothing. Somehow they missed it. Whatever. They take the evidence back to the small town police station and have a powwow with the team. At this point, the small town cops are conflicted off the case. Turns out one of the detectives is the brother of the homeowner, but whatever. The state police are just using their conference room and their Sally port. These are good guys. It's fine. Anyway, they realize, wait, the taillight is smashed to smithereens. It's missing way more than 3 or 5 little pieces. Like, wait a minute. Okay. So they find taillight. It's way more than 3 or 5. They're like, wait a minute. I mean, shouldn't that have been, they realized, like, wait a minute. They're looking at the freaking taillight. It's like destroyed. But we only got a couple little pieces here. Where's the rest? Wouldn't you go back and find it? Should we go back and search some more? Nah, it's late. Should we protect the scene at least? Nah, nobody will mess with it. Almost everybody calls it a night, except for the lead trooper. He starts texting his high school buddies about the screaming woman's butthole. This is literally what happened, though. Like, you got to understand, this is not a movie plot. This is what happened in a murder investigation. The next day, the state police came up with a plan for evidence recovery. The snow would be melting soon, so they just drive by the house every morning on their way to work and every evening on their way home. Keep your eyes out. Eventually, the taillight will reveal itself. That's quite literally what the plan was. Now, the first time or two someone spotted taillight, they took a photo before collecting it. They didn't measure or map it against anything else. They have this great accident reconstruction guy. He doesn't need all the science and data, okay? They got Trooper Paul. They don't need to do that. But over the next few days and weeks, all the pieces of taillight that the small town cops and the specialized search team missed become too much. The troopers didn't want to bother the crime scene services team. They just back it up themselves and leave. Anyway, the drive-by plan proved to be genius because they were able to collect about 40 more pieces of taillight to prove their case. Some of them were huge. Most of them were bright red. All of them were missed the first and second and third and fourth and fifth times around. Later, the state police would use the taillight pieces as part of their accident reconstruction calculations to explain how the crime happened. And that is this. The man was standing near the road with his arm sticking out when the screaming woman gunned it in reverse. Her taillight hit his arm and exploded, blasting through his shirt and scraping up his skin. At the same time, the force went through the shirt. At the same time, the force of the impact spun him around and through the air until he landed on his head. It's absurd, right? It seems like the jury is left to consider 2 ridiculous sounding theories. 1, the cops were dirty, or 2, the cops were clueless. Again, they call us conspiracy theorists, and that's their theory. Like, just remember that. So what a great thread there by Carrie. So I really appreciate that. Okay, cool. Why don't we do a refresh of the donos here? See what we got. Josephine sends $5, goes, did you notice Alessi look at Hanky when he was finished making a fool out of himself and mouth, good job? I did notice that, actually. I was right there. So thank you for that one. Frank sends $5 and says, you should be playing I Be Looking Fresh with Them Feds Watching in the background really low while you're going over the hearings. LOL. That'd be great. Next one. A-Rod sends $10. It goes, the trolls are so mad about Green. They made Green's mugshot their profile pics. Yet they say you dox people. It shows their level of education. So that was Rick Green. He does not have blue eyes, as it turns out. Like, if the police report said he has blue eyes, he clearly doesn't. Unless the camera's playing tricks on me and manipulating me. I don't know. But that is Rick Green. He was arrested in 2016 for like drunken disorderly at a bar. As Plevin says, he's a scoundrel. He's a scoundrel. So somehow this negates all of his findings. somehow, that one has anything to do with the other. Also, Rick Green, who is apparently very close to his father, died that week. So Plevin left the part out where he may have been dealing with a very maybe it had been drinking away his sadness, if you will. Plevin forgot to point that out. The dude's dad died that week, but whatever. So yeah, there's that one. So thank you for the dono there. Next up, Terry Oliver sends $25, goes, hello, this is Piney Woods Law and Crime. I'm so impressed with Miss Reed's team and of her plight. I'd like to help them in some small way on a pro bono basis. If they run short of Harvard interns, I'm old, but I'm clever. Keep doing the tough work, and best to you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Terry Oliver. Might want to contact her team though. $5 from Amelia says, from where you're actually from, the 203. I love you, Turtleboy. Isn't that a New Jersey area code? I'm not from New Jersey. My mom is, but thank you. Angela sends $5, says, Doctor, I frequently catch the random Seinfeld references you make, and I'm a huge fan as well. I find it ironic the show ends with them stuck in your state, not in a real town, though. There's no Latham, Mass. Also being the first ones charged with a bogus made-up crime. That's true. Similar to yours. That's a good point. Only I know you'll have a different outcome than them. Keep fighting the good fight. Well, thank you for that very much, Lydia. Angela. Lydia sends $5 and goes, good evening, Dr. Turtle Daddy. I know the Google search stuff went over the other day, but one point I haven't seen someone make is the programs both sides use analyze data. They can hide data from being shown, but the programs aren't AI and can just create data. The only reason 227 showed up in any program is because the programs found the data. It didn't generate it. It was never fucking Googled. If it wasn't Googled, that data wouldn't exist, period. Exactly. Regardless what the prostituters, the $75,000 pussy saying Celebrate doesn't show it now. Exactly, Lydia. Romy again says, sends $50 and goes, Friday's hearing is why they're going so hard with the fake Karen and AJ story. It was bad for the prosecution. If the jury finds out Jen McCabe made over 4,500 Google searches on her phone, but only that one was deleted, it solidified 227 happened. Alessi is going to destroy Whiffen, and I'm here for it. It's so true. It's so true. I mean, that's something that wasn't at the last trial. The whole 4,500 searches and you deleted one. That changes. Like, a jury hears that and they're going to be like, what? Come on, dude. Come on. We ain't stupid. Thank you. BMG sends $25, goes, methodology. You keep using that words. I do not think you know what it means. Exactly. A-Rod sends $10, goes, you didn't finish saying about the new U.S. attorney. You got sidetracked with Josh Levy. Yes. So the new U.S. attorney is a Trump appointee, you know? And I just find it hard to believe that it's a new administration, same cases. They're inheriting the same shit. A lot of the people still working there are the same people. They're going to come twice as strong at them. That's my thoughts on that. All right. Next up, LaFerio sends $10 and goes, the word of the day is danger. Danger Davitz. Nan Gallagher. Thank you, Nan. Danger Davitz. I don't get it, but I'll take your word for it, Nan. Jolie sends $10 and goes, so according to Cellbrite, any prior searches are basically not accurate after this update. So how many people in prison are now going to appeal their convictions? Also, Cellbrite works too close with the police to trust them. That's a good point. You're right. If it updates and it gets rid of Google searches, we have to go back and revisit everyone's, right? Using the new updated version. I mean, it's just like, so it just wasn't accurate back then. It was just wrong. Is that what you're saying? Thank you. NOLA CPA sends $25, goes, New Orleans, Louisiana here to support and you and Karen Reed, free Aidan, free Karen Reed, and justice for Officer John O'Keefe. Well, thank you very much, NOLA CPA. God bless you. Mary sends $5, goes, hear me out. What if all these Hank fails are part of the plan? What if Bev pulls all her shit during the trial and points all the pretrial wins to disprove judicial bias on appeal? Just a thought I can't shake. Maybe. That's an interesting theory. Thank you, Mary. Denise sends $10, goes, I've always wondered, after Jen typed that search into her phone, How long did it take for her to realize she'd made a fatal error? Did her heart start pounding? Did she break into a sweat? How bad did Brian Albert ream her out when she told him things? I wonder. I wonder if she even told him. But I'm sure she realized that was a mistake right away, because by 6, she deleted it. And then by 6:24, like, she already had a plan. She knew exactly what she was going to do when. Like, she's like, fuck, I have to correct this error. You know, that's why she Googles it at 6:24. So thank you, Denise. Allison sends 25 big ones and says, please do not read on your live stream. I'm going to read it anyway. Thank you for addressing the total mess of nastiness on Twitter. All you had to do was block them and it ended. I'm trying to do what I can for Karen. I've donated twice and we'll do what I can when possible. Keep up the awesome work. Good luck with your court appearance. Excellent. Excellent. So thank you very much, Allison. Logic sends $5, goes, Masshole Mafia argues that reasonable doubt wasn't established because the jury didn't acquit Karen. Yeah, that's not, she doesn't know anything about the law. That's the thing about her. Incorrect. It actually shows that the jury either didn't understand reasonable doubt or were biased. I'm going with the first. The general stupidity of the public is the biggest challenge facing the defense. Yeah, they just need to hammer home reasonable doubt a little bit more. You know, you don't have to convince them that this whole conspiracy happened. You just have to convince them there's reasonable doubt. Exactly. Carrie Ann sends $20, goes, wow, thank you for the shout out. Made my day. Well, your tweet thread made my day, Carrie Ann. So thank you very much. JJ sends $10, goes, are you looking into the Penny McGee case, another CPD case that's a BS prosecution, the bench trial with Auntie Bev? It's not in Canton, that one. It's in Brookline, actually. And I am watching it, and I agree that seems to be a BS prosecution, manslaughter, because she got in an argument with her husband and he had a heart attack. Give me a break. Thank you. Okay, let me just refresh that, make sure we're not missing anyone. Suzanne sends $25, goes, what is hashtag Hanky asking for Karen's Google searches when they aren't good? Why is he asking her for her Google searches when they aren't good? Yeah, and they also entered in, remember they tried to enter in that she looked for a DUI attorney? Remember that? That's interesting. But somehow that search is valid. Remember, they want to enter that into evidence and use it against her, which is just outrageous that they even tried that. So thank you for that. Brittany Shelley sends $10 and goes, hello, I'm just curious how your case is going. What has Cosgrove said about the LG messages posted by Christie admitting that Tully deleted stuff from her phone? Has he ever addressed the Mike Crawford allegations? I don't know what those are, but yeah, I mean, Cosgrove hasn't really talked much about that. It's like he ignored it. So stay tuned for some more Betero letters coming your way. Trust me. And motions too. Motion to dismiss is coming too. So there's that. Thank you. Okay. Let me read some cash apps here before we call it a night. Renee sends $5 and says, started watching you mid-trial. You are hilarious. Well, thank you, Renee. I'm glad I can entertain you and you know, make you think a little bit, you know, enjoy this horrible situation as best you can. All right, cool. Anyone else got anything to say before we call it a night? Good show, I thought. Good audience. You know, we're consistently over $5,000 every show now live. You know, it's great. How is Mello? Has he really resurfaced? No, that was not actually him. He was just it was a joke. He wasn't actually there. Yeah, we'll go over that another time. Hank's response to the motion for reimbursement. We'll definitely do more Hanky impersonations for sure as well. Okay. But all right, guys. Please tell us about Krowski. We'll get to that. Just stay tuned. I got another cash app here from Meatball Morrissey's. Skeddystein sends 10 and goes, hey, doctor, remember, never trust the crust. Never trust the crust. Yeah, once the trial starts, Richie, you're absolutely right about that. Our number is going to go way up. Bro, I missed the days of 600 people in lives. More like 300, dude. I was begging for 600 back then. I'll take it, you know. Please tell us about Krowski. I'm going to do a story on it instead. I got to research it a little bit more. Got a little witness intimidation going on. You know what I mean? But anyway, guys, I am going to call it a night. But thank you guys all for joining us here. And Karen Reed is absolutely innocent. You're right about that. And we will see you guys all for the next episode of Turtleboy Live on Tuesday night. And you guys have a wonderful Sunday tomorrow. And we'll see you guys all then. And brush your teeth. Peace, Turtle Riders.